Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to the Number 9 with Tommy podcast, where we're hoping to leave you in Lilo and Stitches when we're not discussing troubled water under bridges. Hello, infidels and arrogant Americans. Guess who? It's a nightmarish terrorist, always looking for an opportunity for scariness. And after nearly 20 years waiting, here it is. Like your American rap duo says, boom, there it is. Out the window goes all of your comfort and fearlessness. The mighty eagle soaring in the air with such carelessness. And each of you should be embarrassed. It's your own fault, prideful citizens. My claim is legitimate. 22 is an awfully big number, isn't it? But American soldiers die from war. You cry. When asked if you should leave or occupy, you divide. Stay in the war forever. Endure. Stay in the war on terrorism. Nevermore. Put your mask on. It's Nazi Germany. I'm no puppet. The government's not hurting me. My body, my choice. Boy girls and girl boys. Social media is leading to antisocial disorders. The American man is heartless for protecting his borders. Presidential tweets, Capitol riots, Black Lives Matter in election season, Blue Lives Matter, or else it's treason. But think, all of the arguments, and what has it gotten me? International mockery. Plus, you've forgotten me. You gave up on your people fighting overseas. Mothers, brothers, fathers, daughters, broken dreams. This whole time, I've taken position and never given in, while you've judged one another and lived in sin. You became an embarrassment, a clown-nosed nation. You've pointed fingers and made accusations. And now, just as you inevitably turn your backs on your own kind, you look for differences that don't matter and you won't find. You're all the same, ungrateful fools, always so righteous, always rising flame, allowing ours to be ignited. But don't worry, you'll forget about me by the next newsroom deadline, and I'll have your weapons and your tanks to write the next week's headline. Here to talk about the vicious cycles we found ourselves in, my besticle from a different testicle, Tom fucking Washington. How are you, man?
What's up?
I did my best terrorist impression there.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Are you going to introduce our guest today?
I sure am. So our guest today is a retired member of the military. It is my brother, Steven. We've had him on the show before. Steven, how are you?
I'm well, fellas. Thanks for having me.
What did you think about...
Second time caller.
Steven, before we started recording, we mentioned that we were doing an episode a little bit differently, and you said, oh, good, I don't have to deal with one of your corny rhyming intros. And then you, in fact, did have to deal with one of those, didn't you?
Not only did I, fucking have to choke down the vomit to, keep my dinner in. My favorite part is how you, build to this crescendo at the end, and then you, over to Tommy, and Tommy's like, hey.
Yeah.
The excitement is not matched.
Tommy and I don't always exactly feed off of each other the way you would expect two professionals to feed off of each other. We're still working out the kinks.
To be fair, this was my idea.
Nice.
It was my idea to talk about this on the podcast.
Yes, which would make you assume he'd be very enthusiastic.
So to shed some light on the situation, Pat and I spoke about this yesterday I think, let's say Wednesday, maybe Monday night, we said something to each other, and then yesterday, and then he called me and said, I just got the phone with Steven. He has a great point of view on this. He knows what he's talking about. We should have him on the show. I said, absolutely. Because, like I explained to everybody else, we only see what we see in the news, right? That's what we're privy to see. As regular citizens, that's what we see. And we're made to believe certain things that may be true, may not be true. And this goes, so I had a friend when I was in high school. He was the captain of my police explorers squadron, or whatever the hell you call it.
I'm sorry, were you a police explorer in high school?
Absolutely, state police explorer, group 48, post 488.
I feel like real police, staties.
Hold the fuck on. We've been close with each other for about 15 years. And you've told the entire podcast audience about living through horrors as a child, but you've neglected to tell me that you were a fucking police explorer.
Patrick, if you were a police explorer, wouldn't you have left that buried or swept under some fucking
What's the matter with that, man? I don't see a problem with that.
God.
Jeez, you guys are rough, man. Rough crowd. So anyway, but he went and did, I think, tours.
I'm picturing you in the uniform. I can't get over it.
Oh God. Then why are you hard?
Anyway.
Oh shit.
So the captain of my police explorer post ended up joining the army, did 2 tours overseas. I know that one of them was at least in Afghanistan and one was at least in Iraq. I think he might have done a third in one of them.
Okay.
But one of the first things that he said, like when we talked to him when he came back, was it's not as bad as it seems on the news. Like they only tell you the bad things on the news. There is real progress there. And again, that was years ago. Like I'm talking, I was still in high school. So, but again, we've been in that country for 20 years.
By the way, Stephen, I don't want to put your birthday out there.
Why?
Okay, Stephen, Tom was born on 9/11.
True story.
Like on 9/11 or like 9/11 10 years before that?
9/11 several years before.
12 years before that.
12 years before. But also, this is a little known fact.
How young do you
Tom
think
was a
I
fucking
am?
police explorer in high school. So there's that.
Hold on, real quick, man. Before I might as well tell you why I got out of the police explorer business.
I want to know why you kept it a secret from me all this time.
So this is a true story. Okay.
You just didn't want to treat black people the way they're going to make you?
Yeah. Jesus. Oh, this is a rough crowd. Anyway, so we're at police explorer training, and we all had to be first aid and CPR certified.
Well, I bet you guys enjoyed that fucking mouth to mouth.
So we were at a training for this, and it was going like it was supposed to end at 7, right? And we were doing it at Tech because it's a state school. So
Okay.
And my father waited out in the parking lot for like 2 hours for us to be done, and we still weren't done. It was like 9:00 at night, and he comes in. I'll never forget this, man. And he's like, and it was all 3 of us. It was me, my sister, and my brother, all part of this.
Oh
thing.
my God! What the fuck?
What's the
This
problem,
is like
man?
Partridge Family level gayness.
Jeez, man, you guys are brutal. Wasn't your guy's dad a cop?
Can I guess
the
that
fuck?
you got out of the police explorers because the military repealed the don't ask, don't tell policy and you realized you had different options?
I'm going in.
So anyway, so my dad comes in and loses his shit, right? He's like, get the fuck up, we're out of here, blah, blah, blah. And my sister decided, like, but Dad, we're still doing the test. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'll fucking drag you out of here by your hair. And now this place is full of cops,
Sure.
you know, because, and whew, man, was I embarrassed. And that was the last time I did anything with the police explorers.
Did your brother and sister stay apart
What?
of the police explorers?
No, we all, that was our last day as a group in
Okay.
the police explorers.
Okay.
So one would say maybe my dad saved us.
Oh boy.
And I just want this to be known. I have no problem with police officers whatsoever, like you two clearly do.
Nobody said we had a problem with police
I've
officers.
only in my life ever had a problem with one cop.
He's talking about his father.
I figured.
Oh, okay.
I got the joke there. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, and speaking of dads, today's my dad's birthday, so shout out to my pops.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Rick.
happy birthday, Mr. Washington.
He's 56, I think.
All right.
No, 57. 57.
Pouring them on there now.
57 years old. So, happy birthday to him. I don't know if he's watching the show tonight. Probably not, but
Sure,
Tom,
he has better things to do.
Tom, before we get too far into this episode, because we're not doing mail time, we're not doing any segments.
yeah, Dip Dizzy was going to be a fucking mess.
Tom, what do you think I'm holding right now? If you had to guess,
A box?
what's in the box, Tom? What's in the box?
It's my dick in a box. Is a castrated penis.
It is not a castrated penis. Tom, there are several games that have gone viral recently, and they all...
If you spray me in the fucking face with fucking mace, I will punch you in the
What the
face.
fuck? You think I have a box of mace? No, I don't have a... First, I'm in the room. I'm not macing you. Second, there's several games that we are going to start playing, and we're not going to do them on the podcast because they will not sound good. but have you seen the game where the
Oh my
people
God.
put harmonicas in
This
their mouths and
motherfucker
then
has a
they
harmonica.
fucking hurt each other, but the only reaction you hear is the sound of the harmonica, and that's how you know how bad somebody's hurt?
What are you doing with those scissors? Oh, you're.
I'm opening the harmonica, Tom. So basically, we're gonna put these harmonicas. There's two. You get your own.
I'm impressed
COVID.
that when someone did something to hurt you, you'd hold the harmonica in your mouth. You wouldn't just spit it out when you went ouch.
I think you
Right?
got to bite down, man. You got to bite down on the harmonica so that
So basically, go against everything you were taught with when it came to doing fellatio.
Correct. Yes. So
Or
basically,
as some people would call that, a mouth organ.
what I want to do is I want to incorporate several of the games. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's the one where you suspend a bottle of water from the ceiling between the two of you.
Yes, I've
and you're
seen that
both
game.
blindfolded and you swing the
Those
bottle.
are great videos.
So
if you get hit in the head, hit in the face, or fall down, that's funny shit.
Yeah, we're going to do that, but we're going to do that with harmonicas in our mouths. We're going to bring back what?
The internet game mashup.
Oh yeah, it's coming. We're going to bring back the mousetrap that you clap down on your fingers. We're going to clap the mousetrap down on each other's fingers while we have the harmonicas. We're going to tase each other while we have the harmonicas. We're going to go ham with these harmonicas. I'm super excited. These babies were not cheap. These were just under $10 a piece. That means I invested just under $20 in these ideas.
Believe it or not, guys, that's the most money that Pat has ever spent on the podcast.
It was a record-breaking day.
Thank you.
I'm looking at $2,000 worth of IT equipment. And Pat's going hard on $20 of harmonicas.
Facts. Welcome to my life.
One of us is the IT guy, the other one is the idea guy. Okay, so I got the fucking harmonicas.
What a great partner you picked, Tom.
Hey, listen, man, we have a video that Pat did, and to his point with the idea guy, it has like 150 views on
That's right.
on YouTube.
That's
of
triple
him
digits if you're
covering
counting.
himself in peanut butter and jelly, and then proceeding to ask my wife if he can make himself a peanut butter and jelly.
And she said yes, so I just walked into the room she was in. I said I made myself a peanut butter and jelly.
And she was FaceTiming with her friends, and she had to say, "That's not Tom."
You guys do look a lot alike.
Somebody
asked us on, we had a company function on Sunday, and somebody asked us if we were brothers. We've had customers come in and confuse us for brothers or confuse us for the same person.
Yeah, I had a guy fighting mad at me because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, and he was saying we had this conversation yesterday, and I had to actually bring him to Tom and go, "Is that the me that you talked to yesterday?" And he was like, "What the fuck?" So there's that.
It happens.
How fucking stupid are you? I just talked to you about this yesterday.
That's literally the conversation.
And my response was, "Sir, I had yesterday off. Come with me."
That's good. That's good.
So we are today going to talk about kind of just everything that we're seeing on the news about what's going on in the Middle East. And
whoa. Bring it back to Afghanistan. I don't want to talk about Syria.
Okay, so we're going to specifically talk about Afghanistan. And we're going to kind of just fire some questions at you that we're hoping will ignite some conversation, but also maybe help us to understand a little bit better what's really going on. Because what it looks like is that portion of the world is coming to an immediate end, and we don't know what happens from there. I mean, it looks like the apocalypse.
There's a vortex rolling above it. The ground's going to open up and swallow everybody whole. Right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
pretty much where we're at right now.
The Afghani lands are going to be covered in molten hot magma very soon.
Yep.
Tom, you ready?
Let's do it.
Steven, are you ready?
Sure.
For $100.
Yeah. Your first question. So we're cheating on this one because I called you yesterday. I asked you this question. I said, Steven, is this the worst moment I've witnessed in my life? Because 9/11 was bad, but the worst impact was very swift in relation, and the relative number of deaths was low. So is this the worst thing I've ever seen?
All right. I'll answer your question with a question. Do you want me to qualify why you even got me on the show to talk about this?
Yeah, please.
I feel like you brought me in as an expert witness, but everybody's going, "Who the fuck's this guy sitting, in the library with a t-shirt?"
He's just a retired military member, man.
Yes, so retired military member, 23 years of service, 6 deployments, 2 to Afghanistan, 1 September of 2001 until the spring of 2002 when we launched the initial invasion. Another one in 2013 and 14. Did another trip working command and control systems in Qatar, more focused on Syria and the fight against ISIS at that time, but also still looking at Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was all in my notes as well.
Qualify, like, I have not stepped foot in Afghanistan since 2014.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
But
not as long as some of you.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a while, but I haven't been there in 36 years. So
God, you're old.
Not much has changed.
Not much has changed over the course of the 36 years.
They traded in occupying forces. They upgraded from the Soviets to the Americans.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Let's go back just a little bit, but let's not worry about the last 2 weeks or 2 months. So the Soviet Union had occupied Afghanistan prior to the 9/11 incident?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact dates, but late 70s into the 80s, or 70s and 80s. It was a long time. This is where the term Mujahideen comes from, and this is where Osama bin Laden rose to fame in the Middle East. We supplied the Mujahideen with weapons, training, the ability to shoot down the Soviet Hind helicopters to soften the Soviet occupation force and try to free Afghanistan so that it could be run by the Taliban.
So we essentially funded the terrorists.
We made Osama bin Laden the hero that he was and enabled his growth of Al-Qaeda as a terrorist organization internationally.
So obviously, emotionally, that was a bad decision. But economically speaking, like financially, we funded both sides of this war?
What, that war? No, we didn't fund the Soviets.
No, we gave them the weapons that they would then obviously grow to use against us.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
How often, and this is just like...
How often do we do that?
Yes. Yeah, how often...
Is that every war ever?
We funded the Iraqis to fight against Iran and then fought against Iraq. Like,
what the shit?
So this is a common practice for Americans.
To meddle, yes.
See, so this was... So obviously, 2 months ago or a month ago, they have this issue down in Cuba, right? And I said to Pat, right here on this podcast, I said, we should mind our own fucking business. This has nothing to do with us.
He did say that. I wholeheartedly disagreed, and I still do.
And this is my point. If we just mind our fucking business over here, nobody bothers us. And while I think
that's not true.
Yeah, we were minding our own business on September 11th.
Yeah, but we also...
Well, we weren't.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more into it than we're led to believe, but at the same time, I believe that every country should be free. Yes. Do I want freedom for those people? Yes.
We have to be careful of what is free, right? Because like the American idea of freedom isn't maybe somebody else's. They might still think they're free, right? They have freedoms and they're happy with those freedoms. They're self-determined, and that's okay. Not every country is going to be the United States. We have to be okay with that.
Yeah, not only that, I think we've taken freedom a little far at this point. We could reel it in a little bit, motherfuckers.
We're the Texas of the world.
Yeah. like if you say something I don't agree with, then I'm free to just accuse you of being a horrible human being and everything else. Like, we could probably use a little less,
right? Because
you're free to have your own opinion until you disagree with me.
Yeah, until I say something that offends you. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and you can be offended by God knows what.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm with you.
Cancel culture's a problem. We have to have a thicker skin.
Yes.
So
but we also have to, it's one thing, you get a lot of leeway with mutual respect, right? If I come at you even with something that's a little cross, if it's coming from a place of love and mutual respect, then I get a lot of latitude, right?
Yeah, if I call a woman at Walmart fat, I'm an asshole. But if I say, Tom, you've put on some weight, I'm just being a good friend.
No, you're still an asshole.
Yeah, I'm with Steven on this one.
But in this particular situation, I'm also being a good friend.
But apropos to nothing. So what were we talking about?
So the real question.
The Mujahideen.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
and then
And their leader, Osama bin Laden.
right. And then he was like, fuck them though. So the original question here is, this thing that's happened over the last this thing that's been all over the news over the last couple weeks, is it the worst thing I've ever witnessed? Because it looks
No,
like the worst thing I've ever witnessed.
no.
Okay. Can you
The
elaborate?
fact that the United States can't like fix its own infrastructure, that people in Flint, Michigan are getting lead poisoning. Like, come on, we've got our own problems. Like, this is finger pointing. Is it bad? Yeah, but like human rights atrocities are happening all over the world every day.
Well,
What are they called? The Galun Fang or whatever, the group of Buddhist monks that the Chinese are imprisoning as political dissidents and then selling off their organs in international black market, like they're doing organ tourism. You can come get a liver.
yeah, no, and I
Right?
want to respond to that. That did not come across
This
my news feed. I'm sorry. What's happening to the
Yeah,
monks?
what the fuck?
you've not heard of this?
No, I
No.
haven't heard of the
About it.
organ trafficking of Buddhist
legitimately
monks.
happening. The Chinese government is imprisoning Buddhist monks because they eat organically, they exercise, they're in good shape, they've got healthy organs, and then people pay to go to China for a liver transplant or a lung transplant or whatever else.
How many fucking Buddhist monks are there?
In this particular sect, enough that the Chinese government can make some money off of it and keep people quiet.
Jeez.
Wild.
Okay.
So this is this bad? Yeah, man, it's horrible. It's horrible to see people that, I mean, 7 years ago, like, I walked down the street, I saw these people, I talked with them, I interacted with them on different programs, or I kicked a door in and like hung out in their living room. But like
It's Wednesday.
I'm here. Hump day.
I'm here.
Hump day.
I'm in your house. We know a rocket was fired from your roof yesterday.
Oh, that's great.
So, but
Turn in your pressure cooker.
we know the donkey coming from Pakistan through that mountain pass with like 307 millimeter rockets strapped to its ass came to your house last night.
Jeez.
So, like, is it the worst thing you've ever seen? You're the judge of that. I don't know. What have you seen? Right? It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
So let's
It's
say
not
this.
the worst thing that's happened in the last 20 years. It is tragic. Like, I don't want to downplay that this is human tragedy.
Okay, so I guess what I'm seeing with my eyes and with my reading and with my watching of the news, so which could be skewed, but what I'm seeing is, yes, the shit water in Flint, Michigan sucks, but you can drive down the street. What I'm seeing out in Afghanistan is these people.
Dearborn?
I'm just, listen, you get what I'm saying. You can escape that in an automobile. The people of Afghanistan are clinging on to the side of a fucking airplane to get out of there because for some reason the 50-50 chance that like maybe they get trapped and like they just break an arm, but the plane holds on to them over the 50% chance that they fall to their death still seems like a pretty good bet.
Yeah, that's also a bad math too. So comms from the C-17 community, a buddy, I don't know the guy, C-17 pilot shot a friend of mine a text, and my buddy called me. He was pretty upset, but he was like, yeah, we flew out of Kabul. We landed in rear location. There's a dead body in the main landing gear. We dropped 2 bodies when we put our gear down. They fell like into neighborhoods or something. I don't even know. It's fucking horrible, right?
Yeah, that sucks.
But here's the thing. Nobody's going to remember this in a month, in 2 months, right? That guy's going to have nightmares for the rest of his life.
Right.
That was his jet. That was his baby.
Yeah.
He's the aircraft commander. He's responsible for it.
Well, and this is a huge part of what these types of things contribute to that 22 a day. I'm guessing is kind of what you're pointing at.
Keep in mind, though, we talked about this last time I was on the show. 22 a day is a misnomer.
Misleading statistic, I know.
Correct.
It's the only statistic we have that I know of.
Yeah.
I forget. Is it more than that or less?
No, we'll make a number say what we want it to say, right? But like if you went to basic training, went to your first duty station, broke your arm, and got medically discharged, you've been in the military for like 3 months, and then 3 years later commit suicide, um,
You're
because
part of
your
that
girlfriend broke
22.
up with you and you've got underlying mental health issues that have been with your whole life and on, they still lump you into this. It's not like 22 people a day are committing suicide because of the atrocities they saw when they're deployed, right?
Right.
But that's
Yeah.
how they spin it.
Okay.
To fit a narrative.
Always.
Let me ask you this, and this is a little bit off Pat's schedule here. Is it as bad as it seems on TV? Do you think?
Yeah, it is. So in what sense? In the political sense or like in the human suffering sense?
Well, there's no question that in the human suffering sense that these people are, I would say, in danger, right? They're
terrified.
right. Yes, they're terrified.
Terrified.
Some of the things you hear on the news is that they're already cutting women's hands off and stuff like this who wear nail polish. So the human rights aspect of it is through the roof, but everything's pulled. Huh?
Do we care about human rights?
Do we? I do,
Yeah.
as a person. Do our politicians? In my opinion, no,
The
not at
ones
all.
we elected?
Yeah, the people that we elect, absolutely not. They care about paychecks. That's what they care about.
I think his point is we elected them. So if
Listen, I've been saying this for a while, man. We gotta overthrow it, dude. It's time.
Tom is a big advocate of overthrowing the government. He wants to plan a fucking coup.
I'm a constitutionalist in the sense, like, right, like what's the House of Representatives' number one job, right? Budget. So if you can't pass a balanced budget, right, that's your number one constitutional authority.
Yep.
You're not eligible for re-election.
I like
the whole House out.
I like it.
Either get the checkbook straight or you're gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That would get rid of $23 trillion in debt. Thank you. It's fucking crazy.
Finance them. I got some credit cards that are floating some money right now, right? I'm gonna get my Amex points, and I'm gonna pay it off next month, right? It's cool.
Listen, it's off topic.
Are we doing that, or are we just right? Yeah.
It's off
Anyways,
topic.
get back on topic, Pat. Come on, what's going on?
No, I was going to get us further off topic. I'll rein us back in. Steven.
Those Amex points, how do those work? That's what Pat was going to say.
Do you get a lot of frequent flyer miles?
I'll send you a friendly invite, and then I'll get like 70,000 points when you sign up.
Nice.
Yeah, there you
go. So when we were talking yesterday, I said that I didn't agree with the thing that I kept hearing was that we had wasted our time. What I've seen over the last 20 years is that we've spent 20 years building schools and we've built libraries and we've instilled all of these wonderful principles. Morally we've helped, economically we've helped. Do you feel like all that time was wasted, or am I at least onto something? Like we did a lot for these people, or no, we did nothing because we're right back to square one?
So there's something that like that there are a couple misunderstandings of like Afghanistan and Afghan culture, right? Like, well, I mean, for one, like there's no Afghan culture. So this is a tribal place. Right?
Okay.
This is a tribal place. Like, why was Hamid Karzai the first president of Afghanistan? Because he was the strongest warlord in the Kandahar province. It was the biggest province with the biggest military. Why did Kandahar have its own military versus Mazar-e-Sharif or Herat or Jalalabad or Kabul, right? Like, what do you mean? This is a very, very tribal place, right? When we got there in 2001, like you're talking 20-25% literacy rates, like zero literate women, very, very, very divided, right? There's no concept of nation. There's the concept of Taliban, and they were running what could theoretically be called like a Confederate style of government, right? A few federal controls with some very, very strong states with a few federal kind of coordinators.
Okay.
But there's no like what is Afghan culture. There's like Pashtun culture, but we misunderstood that. We misunderstood that. We misunderstood who these people were.
Well, okay,
right?
so
Like
I'm
in
with you,
Afghanistan, the most common language of communication on a day-to-day basis is not Arabic.
which
It's
obviously would
Pashtun.
be our guess. It's
Right,
Pashtun.
right. Like the average American would be like, "Oh, it's the Middle East. They all speak Arabic, right?" No, no, they don't. Iran doesn't speak Arabic either. They speak Farsi, right? But we have a lack of like general international politics understanding of who these people are. What were their goals going to be, right? I don't think we ever asked, right? We said, hey, look, you need to have a president, you need to have like a parliamentary system, you need to have elections. And they're like, elections, like the warlord's the boss. Like, what am I electing? We, when you have like 20 and 25% literacy rates and a political structure that is might is right, what's the amount of time it takes to instill Western democratic ideals?
Well, so to that point, people say that this is the forever war. Should it have been? Should we have never pulled out of this? Should we have kept our number of troops over there at a very high number? I mean, should we still be there with just hundreds of thousands of people building structure
To do
and
what?
what's that?
To do what?
To make this a more, I don't know, modernized civilization, I guess would be
You
the
can't make
way.
somebody something they're not.
Or
Not
something
through
they don't wanna
education.
be.
This is not Western civilization. They have to figure this out, right? Like I hate to be like the asshole, but sometimes you just need a good civil war. We did. We were better for it.
Okay, no, I can get behind that. So
If they don't want the Taliban in power, do something about it.
now I'm going strictly off of a map here. But if there's a
Yeah.
civil war, the Taliban wins 10 times out of 10, correct?
Depends
I
on
mean,
how
shit, they
bad you
walked
want
into
it.
Kabul pretty much unopposed. Like they already won.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not sure how much a civil war helps in this particular situation. I guess
If
maybe over time.
I mean, look at our Revolutionary War. The Brits would have called that a civil war,
That's valid.
and the UK would have won 99% of the time. We got lucky once, and really, we didn't even win. We just like pissed them off enough that they were like, "Fuck it, you can have it," and they went home.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, under
Yeah.
those circumstances, with a gigantic body of water between us, we probably had at least a better chance.
Sure.
Were you going to say something?
No, but well, the other thing is, one, if you want it bad enough, you'll fight for it, and I think that's what they're doing, right? These people, they're scared, but there's 20 years ago, there was people in the same situation. You know what I mean? Like they were doing the same shit that they're gonna do now.
Right.
They just got so used to not having to fight because Americans were there to stop it.
No, 20 years ago, they were happy. No one was there no one was there at all, right? Like, so think about like Afghanistan in 1999, right?
Yep.
So America gave us a bunch of money. They gave us a bunch of weapons. The Mujahideen and Osama bin Laden, our great hero, rose up and pushed the Soviets out of Afghanistan. Okay, the Taliban took over. We don't necessarily like them, but we at least get to determine our own destiny now. So they just went on with their lives.
Right.
And then we went in because of Osama bin Laden.
But yeah, 9/11.
The Taliban would not turn over Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
If they had turned him over in 2001, an American soldier never would have stepped foot in Afghanistan after 9/11. We would have said, "Thank you very much. Y'all enjoy the rest of your lives. We'll take him and we're out of here."
So Erica is in the chat. She says, "Hi, Erica." By the way,
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Erica.
She says, "How do you know all the Taliban support the Taliban? They could just be going along with it because they don't want to die," which I think is a
How do you know
valid
the
point.
Republicans support the Republicans? Everybody's got their political agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's valid.
I like it.
Yeah, I support what I need to support to get what I want.
Yeah, and that's the mistake we made in Iraq. We went in, Paul Bremer went in from the State Department and basically said it's illegal to employ anybody with Ba'ath ties in Iraq. B-A-A-T-H, Ba'ath, the political party of Saddam Hussein, not B-A-T-H, for taking a bath, right? So we unemployed 250,000 people that had life skills.
You say 250,000 people?
250,000 people.
Okay.
Right? And then all of a sudden, trash started piling up on the side of the road. Well, what the fuck? Who's going to pick up the trash? Well, we fired that guy. Why would we fire him? He was he had allegiances with Saddam Hussein. Why? Well, he didn't really. He was a fucking garbage man that voted Ba'ath because otherwise you die.
Right. So Erica rephrased or
about Taliban winning the Civil War.
Yeah, so my question was, wouldn't the Taliban win 10 times out of 10? She's saying there's maybe some double agents on that side who would like Tommy plan a coup and get themselves out of that situation. That would definitely happen. I mean, there's no way it's zero.
They believe in the same ideals. There's still that one guy, there's still that Fredo that's like, I could have been important.
Excellent reference.
I'm smart, Michael. I'm smart. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, there's no way that's not to a certain degree going to take place.
Yeah. But then you get so then Saudi Arabia gets involved, Iran gets involved, Pakistan gets involved because everybody else in the region's political aspirations are going to come to fruition in the, in the way this thing plays out, which also is, it's tragic. It's not a good thing, but maybe it's necessary.
Right. My question yesterday was, could we not have, over the course of the last 20 years, just like you said, these people were hiding Osama bin Laden, so we were going to do what we had to do to get them. Could we not have just wiped out the Taliban? And to that point, could we not right now just wipe out the Taliban?
We did. They were gone. They all left town.
Okay, so they ran.
We initially took Afghanistan with hardly a shot fired.
Okay.
Anaconda was us chasing them up into the mountains while they had their tail tucked between their legs and they were trying to get out of town. Now, you corner a fucking rodent and they're gonna bite you, right?
Right.
And so they start fighting and then they start kind of rallying up in different cave systems and everything else. They start pushing back down the mountains, thinking maybe, right? Hey, I lived through a fight. Maybe the Americans aren't as tough as we thought. We'll fight back a little bit. They got their asses kicked.
Okay.
There was no fight for 20 years. Americans have been getting hurt, they've been getting injured, they've been getting killed. But apples to apples, there was no fight. We whooped the shit out of these guys for 20 years.
And that makes sense.
If you kill a terrorist, you create two more. Because he's got a 16-year-old son and a 14-year-old son, or he's got, fucking 3 nephews that are 8 and 10, and now they're mad because they love their uncle. And in 5 years, I'm coming for these American motherfuckers, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. Had you died in war, I'm sure I would have done whatever I could.
Yeah, we enacted violence on behalf of our nation, and they bred hate on behalf of theirs.
Okay. No, that totally makes sense. And we know that hate is it's powerful shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I resisted making a Star Wars joke in that spot. I held it back.
You shouldn't have.
Yeah, you should have, because now I'm confused. What was the Star Wars reference?
Fucking hate brought Anakin to the dark side, man. The power of the dark side.
Oh, man, that wouldn't have worked anyways.
You suck.
You suck.
Fuck both of you. That's one each. Okay, so we also, one of the things I heard was that Biden makes this decision to kind of just evacuate all things American, and to his surprise, the Taliban very quickly seize all of these places. They take over everything, and it happened much faster
Did they say he was
than
surprised? I didn't catch that.
That is what I heard. I don't know that is accurate. That is the report that I got.
Then he's not.
Then he's what?
Then he's naive.
Okay.
I didn't see that, right? If that is accurate, if the president says that he was surprised with the swiftness that the Taliban took back over, then the president's naive.
Okay, but why?
Or just not as informed as he should be. Or at least,
because yeah, I mean, that's valid, right? Because there's always a cut of information, right? Well, don't tell the boss, it'll just upset him, but it doesn't really help anything, right?
Nice to think that happens on that level as well.
It happens everywhere, right?
Apparently it does.
Yeah, it happens, in the military, it happens in defense contracting programs, it just happens, right? That's just life.
Yeah.
You don't tell your mom everything, you tell her what you think she needs to know. As long as you get fed. So
unless you're Pat, then.
All right, here's the deal. the Taliban's been fighting for 20 years, right? There's been
Right.
little skirmishes. There's been this and that. They had a real resurgence around 2009 and 10, right? We're all eyes on Iraq. We're fighting, what would later become ISIS.
Right.
It was Al Qaeda in Iraq. And then 2009 and 10, they're like, oh shit, Afghanistan's getting out of hand. We need to surge. So we surged back into Afghanistan, put a fucking lid on that, right? But it never stops. There's always little skirmishes. There's little fights. I mean, I was at Bagram 2013 and 14, and we averaged 2 rockets a week that landed on the base. There's probably 4 or 5 shot, but these motherfuckers couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So there's like 2 that actually land on base every week.
I like that you still find time to talk trash to them. That's good.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. This is
what do you have to worry about? It's not like they couldn't hit you up close. They're definitely not going to get you where you are now.
All we've been talking about for the last 4 years is Russia and China, right? And rightly so, because that shit's not going to look like the last 20 years have, right?
Right.
Like, did we need to handle some business in the Middle East? Yes. How much of it is all the political debate over, how long do we stay in Afghanistan? Do we go into Iraq or not? Like, that's all politics, right? We did what we were told to do. What we were told to do is go handle business in the Middle East. We were the fucking big kid in the sandbox, period.
Right.
Like, they picked off some of our guys. They hurt some of our guys. Like, some of us will bear scars and nightmares that we'll never even talk about, right? But there was not any way they were just going to, like, come out and fight and win.
Right.
Right? Like, that wasn't going to happen. Like, they got their ass kicked. Now, fucking kudos to them for knowing I'm going to go fight and die, but I'm going to fight.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that level of fight right now against the Taliban, right?
Yeah, maybe
But,
that could affect some change.
Hey, President Trump went over and he talked with the Taliban, and he came back and he was like, hey, they're talking about an orderly transition. They're talking about a positive way forward for Afghanistan and their regional partners. I mean, Trump came back with a lot of positive comms. We'll be out of Afghanistan by spring of 2021. He's got amnesia about that now because it's it doesn't serve his political agenda. But I mean, like y'all saw the videos. Like if you're watching Fox and CNN, a year ago, he came back talking about like I was hanging out with the mullah, we were smoking the fucking hookah, it was good.
I'm sorry, did Trump say he was smoking a hookah for real?
He didn't say that. I put that in his mouth, but whatever.
Okay.
Well, so
go ahead.
So, to your point, where it doesn't fit his political agenda now, how much of our politics determine, like we say this all the time with China and Russia and all that, with certain people in power in this country is going to determine what other countries do. And again, this is all opinion based, right? So like, what if? But would it have been a more peaceful transition, or would we have started pulling out slower if Trump was in office versus just, you know what, pack your shit, we're fucking out?
Well, he just said we'd be out of there by spring of 2021.
Trump in office because we didn't pull out at all.
Yeah, well, but you know what? Like, I don't know. Like I said, it's all
politics aside, right? Politics aside. This is Bush's fault. Where's this fucking backwards camera, Tom? This is Bush's fault. This is Obama's fault. This is Trump's fault. Biden, to his credit, like, did we in the end execute the evacuation wrong? Yes.
But we executed it.
Yeah,
stepped on our dicks. But just like Nixon in Vietnam, right? Was Vietnam Kennedy's fault? Yep. Right? Was it Eisenhower's fault for sending the first, advisors there in 1954? Yep. Was it LBJ's fault? Yep. And Nixon was finally like they gave him the briefing, right? Like, this is how I'm a simple guy. I'm not a smart guy, right? So I'm sitting there. I'm the president, right? I'm Nixon. Sitting there with my coffee. It's not a scotch because it's not, 8 o'clock at night. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. They come in, they're like, Mr. President, this is the situation in Vietnam. They give him the briefing. They're like, this happened, and blah, blah, blah. Which way do you want to proceed? And he was like, guys, that all sounds like shit. Fuck it. Get out. And they're like, Mr. President, that wasn't one of the options. He's like, I'm the president. Fucking get out. So we did. I think that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
Biden watched as vice president. He watched for 8 years. They kept giving Obama briefings, and Obama's like, well, try this, try that, maybe do this, maybe do that, maybe we can finagle this. He watches for another 4 years. Trump, maybe we do this, maybe we do that. I met with the mullah. It went great. They come in one morning, they're like, President Biden, here's the situation report. And he's like, you know what, guys? Fuck it. Get out.
Ultimately, it sounds like not that that's a great decision, but it's the best decision. Is that accurate?
I think so.
Do you think that came, 19 years too late, 18 years too late? Do you think that Obama should have gotten us out? Bush should have gotten us out? How long ago should we have been out of that?
Bush shouldn't have gotten us in. Look, man, like I was a 21-year-old kid when 9/11 happened, right? I was wearing a uniform and I was fucking fangs out, right? Let's go kill all these motherfuckers.
I remember that feeling.
Right? We
Yeah.
all do, right? The memes that went around, they weren't memes back then, right? It was like chain emails. But like the ripped ass eagle and he's like sharpening his talons and everything,
just
right?
Cranking Toby Keith to fucking 100.
Singing, we'll put a boot in your ass.
Ah, God, still gets me.
Like, fuck yeah, like put me on the saw, boss. And then we learned, man, that fucking war is rough.
Yeah.
That's some hard shit, right? You're gonna see shit and do shit that you don't want to think about. You don't want to see it. You don't want to do it. And in the end, you look back, 42 years old compared to 21 years old, and it's like, I bet we could have dropped a bunch of fucking bombs and never put a foot on the ground, and nothing would have been different.
Yeah, and they never even would have gotten one of our planes
Well, you know what
down.
would have been different? All those families that are missing a loved one now because we went over there. Like,
not only that, man, how much money did we spend? How many lives did we lose?
It's blood and treasure, man. That's what war is. American blood and treasure.
It's crazy.
Here's the thing, though. Someone makes money off war. It ain't me.
well, it's the fucking government.
And the people that pay for elections,
Yeah.
right?
Back.
Follow
Truth.
the money. Who's financing elections?
Yeah,
Facts.
that's valid.
Someone's making money off this shit or it wouldn't happen. If it's not profitable, it doesn't happen. Period.
Facts.
So I don't know who's making the money. I know it's not me. And I know I've got a generation of friends that are going to deal with this thing for the rest of their lives. And yeah, we got like a year of tax-free money. It was like, woo, like, oh, cool. Like I saved $5,000. And people give us a military discount, and sometimes like, oh, cool. Like I basically didn't have to pay sales tax.
Yeah, for real. That's what 10% boils down to. That's like sales tax.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's appreciated. I'm not looking at gift horse in the mouth, man. Every penny helps.
And even that's only some places. It's not everywhere.
But it ain't worth the fucking price I paid.
No, yeah.
It's not worth being woken up in 2018 in Qatar by a phone call from Las Vegas with one of my senior NCOs from Afghanistan that said, hey, turn on the news. Clint Field just killed his wife and kids and then turned the gun on himself.
Is Clint Field somebody you know?
Clint Field worked for me in Afghanistan in 2013 and 14.
Well, that sucks.
Jesus.
Right?
Oof.
It's not worth that.
No, not for $5,000. Not for probably any dollar amount.
It's a good tax year, right? Tax free for 6 months. That's your reward for securing freedom in Afghanistan.
Yeah, we didn't. That we never secured.
Yeah, that's secure is a funny word in that sentence.
Right.
But this goes back to my point that
much like Vietnam, right? Like there's so many parallels. It's uncanny, guys. Much like Vietnam, we just didn't understand their culture. We didn't understand who they were, and that's to our detriment, right?
Right.
Ho Chi Minh offered trade monopolies. All we want, he said, all we want. We've chosen a communist way of life, but I'm not a Chinese puppet. I'm not a Soviet puppet. Vietnam's its own thing. Just don't come here. We're tired of other nations being in our country. That's all we want. We want to be Vietnam. And then we showed up because you can't be communist. You have to be democratic.
Right.
Like,
so in reference to Tom's point earlier, are you saying we do not have business trying to help liberate Cuba.
I don't know, man. Like, as much as the next guy, I'd love to go sit on the beach in Cuba with a fucking fat cigar and a mojito.
Okay.
But they need to figure that shit out themselves.
Okay.
They
I think that's
invited
what-
Che and Fidel in.
Well, that's the truth.
I think that's one of our biggest problems as Americans, at least from because this is all done for politics. Like you said, it's all done for money at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
Like,
someone's making money off of it. Follow
yeah,
the
and
bus.
that's why it's good for business.
Mhm.
We need to learn to mind our own fucking business. Like you said, if we would have went and dropped a bunch of bombs over there and flew by in the middle of the night, nobody fucking knows. Like, it's over. We won.
But we can't completely, right? Because that's just not the way the world works, man. If we just mind our own business in the South China Sea right now, bad things happen 30 years from now.
Well,
Like, if you look at the way China is building the Silk Road again across Asia, the way they're colonizing Africa, like that whole China's playing long game, man, and they're right under our noses.
well,
And,
listen,
they're gonna
man.
pull the rug out from under us.
China and Russia are that's who we should be fighting with is China and Russia. We shouldn't be fucking messing around with Afghanistan and
That's
Iraq.
Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Yeah, these small little countries that, a couple bombs, they're done. These huge countries
Yes
are going
and
to come
no,
in.
but I mean, what happens? Any instability in the Middle East is a bad thing because it upsets our friends, the Saudis.
Yeah, but is that about, when you boil that down, is that about oil? Really? Like,
It is. It's about oil. It's about international business. It's about regional stability, right? Because as a region, it's not just oil. There's natural gas. There's banking and Qatar. It's not one thing, right? It's easy to simplify it to one thing, but it's not just the one thing. We have ties with these people, right? And in a global economy, we do have to protect America's interests. Now, that doesn't have to be the Department of Defense that does it every time, which has been our go-to for the last 2 decades.
Sure.
Maybe the Department of Commerce helps, the Department of State. We have diplomats. These people go to school, they get educations in like nation building. If you want a country broken, call the Department of Defense. We will go and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
We will kill bad guys and make their moms cry. If you want a country built, maybe rely on one of the other cabinet departments.
Makes sense.
it does. Steve, you
didn't
ever
do
think
that.
about running for office?
No.
The fact that you just dead stared into that camera for a solid 3 seconds before answering was
I was
brilliant.
hoping
I
he was
have.
going to say yes. Oh, have you?
I have.
Me too. I was running for mayor of Torrington.
He's not kidding. He really was
it
going to
doesn't-
run for mayor of
Good
Torrington.
It doesn't pay enough.
Oof.
It's not worth the
Like
headache.
40 in a year. Like, what the fuck? 40.
Yeah. It's worth every penny.
It's like $60,000 a year. That's what they pay. There's zero fucking chance I would do that for that kind of money.
That's rough, yeah.
Like, that's average money to run a pretty big city.
Wow. Yeah. What is it, like 12,000 people?
47,000.
That's not that big.
It's what they call a micropolitan.
It's the city of Torrington. It's not the micropolitan of Torrington.
It's a micropolitan.
It's a
Yes.
fucking city,
Is
asshole.
that like the political version of a micro penis?
Yeah. Come on, Pat.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the baby version of a metropolitan. It's
It's
not
like
a
being a police
metropolitan.
explorer, basically.
Yeah, well, in that case, I'm moving out of Torrington because I don't want to get that fucking confused.
So is impeachment when your dad comes into the front office,
Yeah.
grabs you by the ear and drags you out?
Get off that
that's
fucking
it.
pulpit.
How many more questions do you have for Steven?
I have 2 that we're going to make 1, technically.
That's it?
Ooh,
Yep.
damn, Tommy's trying to rush me off.
No.
No, he wants to break the show.
All right, so look. So here's the deal. We're not going to have a show on Sunday that we're going to record live.
Correct.
We're going to record both shows
So,
tonight.
Lord's Day, you go to church, spend the day in prayer.
Yes, that's right, because God needs you there.
I personally will be going to a Yard Goats baseball game. Tom will be going to a Little League football game.
Yes.
Don't go to a goat fucker baseball game.
Dude,
I
the
told him
stadium's
not to
so
go.
sweet.
The stadium is. They still have what's it called there? The barbecue joint.
Jesus, you bring up a baseball stadium, and the first thing Tom thinks of is fucking barbecue. They
like
do still have Bears barbecue, but I work 30 seconds from Bears.
Oh, must be fucking nice. I don't. So anyway,
I shouldn't say 30 seconds. It's not nearly that close, but I work close
Anyway.
enough.
all right. So we're gonna cut this podcast off here. Listen in Monday for Steven's part 2 of this, and maybe we'll get into some other stuff for the next episode with him.
So are we gonna do the question? Man, the fucking narration's killing me. Are we gonna do the question and then cut? Or are
No,
we
we're-
gonna cut and leave that as a teaser for the next one?
This is a teaser for the next one. It's not.
Ooh.
It's a terrible teaser because we're talking about how it's a teaser, so it really ruins the effect of being a teaser. But that
Like I
said,
said, second
Pat,
time's
do you
up.
want to do
I
it
don't
next
know- I
time?
don't
no, that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't
know.
bother
It's
us.
your show, Tom.
No, we.
It's your
I
show.
mean,
no,
I'm just
Steven,
trying to
Steven, I told
It's
you
your
this.
world. I'm a squirrel. Whatever.
It's our show. It's mine and Pat's show.
no, this is Tom's show. His name's in the title.
just because
Let's look at money spent. Whose show is it, Tom?
Yeah, there you go.
Pat's, obviously.
The only thing that I have is these harmonicas, and I got some Dominoes at home right now.
Domino's.
Yeah, it's so good. Domino's has a 6-cheese pizza, and I elected to not have pizza sauce on it. I put Alfredo. Boom, 7-cheese pizza, motherfuckers.
Is that why you're so late
Go
tonight?
for a pizza. But if I try to order a pizza, if I try to like tell Christy right now, like, hey, order a pizza, she'll be like, you're fat. No. But if I get on the Papa John's app and one shows up in 40 minutes,
Then all of a sudden she's hungry.
Papa John's is
Hold on.
legit
Do
too,
you-
man.
Is there Pizza Hut by you? Because we don't have a Pizza Hut by us, and I desperately miss it.
Me too.
it's disgusting. So who gives a fuck?
Okay, wholeheartedly disagree. We're going to pause this episode here with Steven's ridiculously offensive remark about Pizza Hut pizza, which is heavenly. We'll stop here, and we will pick up where we leave off on the next episode. Stay tuned. By the next episode, Steven will have ordered his pizza. I say, good day.
He's really ordering that fucking pizza.
Oh yeah, no, it's he's got the app.
I cannot wait to talk about this in the next episode.
You didn't go in between episodes.
No, not yet. I just want to remind everybody to go to
Not only are we bad at cliffhangers, we're also bad at just
Or to talk
interchanging.
about this in this episode that
Yeah.
continues to trend.
well, listen, man, I want to tell everybody that the new merch is up on the store. Situations are situational. Go check it out. Go to the website, number9podcast.com. Click on the link that says merch store. It will bring you right to our store, and you can check out all the new merch. The front and back shirts are not available yet. They will be in the next couple of days.
We've got 1,000
Definitely go
different.
check that stuff out, guys. I got to look at it before the show started, and it's fucking fly.
I also want to thank Ramblin' Dan. Ramblin' Dan ordered a XL gaming mouse pad on Sunday's show.
Hold the fuck on. What? This is like a serious invasion of
It's
privacy.
the
So what if
large
somebody
mouse
goes
pad.
on there?
What the
Huh?
fuck game are you playing that you need an extra large mouse pad?
Yo, man, you can't.
Nah, it does
hold
the
on, man,
whole
let's-
keyboard. It's a gamer thing, man.
Hold on, man, I'm gonna show you something real quick.
Tom needs
This should
extra
be on
large
the
fucking everything.
Hold on, one second.
Oh, wow.
Show him this.
Did you just pause this instead of ending the episode, motherfucker?
Shut up,
Here's a
asshole.
Shaq-a-Roni extra large pizza.
You think it's bigger than his foot?
Why not? That dude's got some big ass feet.
I saw his shoes at the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's insane.
Steven, see, I have one right here.
He's not looking. He doesn't give a fuck about your mouse
He
pad.
doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, it's like the whole desk. I mean, shit, you can get one of them for like $10 as a desk pad.
Or you can buy one that says number 9 with Tommy podcast on it right on our
That's
Stream
legit. I
Only
like
website.
it. I like that. I don't like this view of Patrick though. He looked all crazy on the side.
He looks
What the
fat.
fuck? What view can he see?
It was on that camera.
He switched it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did it really expose my hot dogs? Because I got enough hot
I
dogs
know,
in the back of my head for a
Jesus.
barbecue, bro.
Pat, I'm gonna hit record.
Back
and
your
you're
head
gonna,
look like a pack of Franks.
Pat, I'm gonna hit record and you're gonna say good.
Man,
day.
I don't know. Hey, everybody in the chat, are we still on or are we doing the cut to the next episode?
Right now, we're live on YouTube. We are not recording the podcast because Tom is literally
Alright, check
just.
it out, live on YouTube. Hey, I'm taking orders. What kind of pizza should I get? And then I'll tell you what I got on the next one.
By the way, it does not fucking matter what you tell him to get. He's just gonna get what he wants.
I would definitely order some of those cheesy sticks, bro.
Hold up, you're doing Papa John's. Are you getting the garlic butter sauce? Tell the truth.
Of course, he's getting a garlic butter sauce.
It's all
That
about the
comes for
garlic.
free. Like if you order it, it just shows up.
Do you get extra?
You know what I hate though? Like sometimes it's real watery and sometimes it's more saucy. Like what the fuck, man?
I think
You
it's
gotta
a
mix it up,
temperature
bro.
thing. The hotter it is, the thinner it becomes.
I don't like that. I like it saucy. Saucy.
I also like it saucy. Domino's now offers a hot garlic butter sauce, and I order a lot of it when I order Domino's. Yeah.
Pat, I really need you to say good day.
Oh, now you want to pause? You want to get new episode? Good day.
It should be I say good day.
You said Pat. I'm gonna hit pause, and you say good day. You hit pause. I said good day.
Can you just say it, Pat?
Hit Pat. I say good day.
I say good day.
Let's get out of fucking school.
Now we're in between episodes.
So
There's so much
I need to
work to
figure
do.
this fucking app out. It's showing me all kinds of food, but I can't figure out how to order any of it.
That's fine.
Fucking bullshit.
Pat, can you go look on the floor over there for my fucking cap to my vape? I flipped it off earlier. I think it fucking rolled over there.
What the fuck's that got to do with me, Tom? This no me problem. This you problem.
Erica, I love you too.
I got a piss too.
All
I
right.
gotta-
We're gonna be seeing-
All right, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break, 2-minute break, 3-minute break, and then
We're
we'll
gonna take a break.
How you feeling? You liking it? Is it going well?
Yeah,
I like it very much.
I'm enjoying this.
I don't have a fucking clue. I'm just talking, guys. I'm just talking. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's going well. It really doesn't matter how we all feel about it. What matters is that the number niners love it, and if we enjoy it, generally speaking, they enjoy it even more. We get
Cool.
a lot of positive feedback at this point, especially from the episodes with guests. So this should be good.
That's cool. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go with the 3-cheese blend.
That
Ooh.
sounds good.
You should get no
I didn't know
sauce,
that was a
bro.
thing.
Listen, tell them no sauce, okay? And have them cut it like it's breadsticks, and then have them sprinkle like a breadstick topping on it, and then get the garlic butter sauce.
What the fuck?
I want to know why Mason.
I just love cheese and bread, Steven.
Are you gonna
I'm gonna
text
get
Mason?
this
and ask him if
spicy
we're gonna
Italian
watch the
sausage and
podcast?
mushroom pizza.
Oh, Tom loves spicy Italian sausage. We know that because he was a police explorer.
What the fuck is my cake? Like that.
My pleasure.
I just got super light all over. So Steven thought that this was,
I lied. I have 3 questions.
Steven thought that this was
A sign?
no, like corrugated tin.
Oh, well, I could see that.
Because when I first started talking to him, I was talking to him on this one, so it only shot this stuff. I forgot when he was on the show, we were still in the other room.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
I
while.
forgot we were in the other room. We moved rooms.
This isn't where we originally recorded.
You haven't seen my basement at all. You haven't seen it since it was all horror, huh?
Oh, it's not all horror anymore?
No, all the horror stuff is now, my living room is like a horror-themed movie theater. I sent pictures to Steven Jr.
Oh, fuck. All right, here's the deal, dude. I left my wallet upstairs.
You don't know
So
your
I'm
credit
gonna
card
grab
number off the
this.
top of your head? Come on.
I'm gonna throw. I think it's like 3726. Fuck.
Send.
239189, something like that.
I'm not sure you should call it out live on the internet. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Can you send one of your children, 3 of your children, or your wife, somebody in here to vamp with us?
To vamp?
Yeah, just discuss things. We're live. We're live right now.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta keep the conversation
Live on YouTube. Go pee, order your pizza.
I
But
thought we were taking a 5-minute break and then doing the next episode.
no, we are. We're taking a 5-minute break from recording, but we're still doing the YouTube live.
All right, here's the deal. I'm gonna take y'all upstairs with me, and we will fuck with people on our way.
Didn't you just say you were going to pee?
I definitely
Well, I'll
want to
leave
see
you
that
with
drained
somebody
snake.
while I pee, or I'll just leave you outside the bathroom.
Okay.
But I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna like fuck with my family because they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, don't put me on camera. My makeup ain't right."
Okay, I'm in. Let's do it.
Cool.
I did meet Steve's daughter earlier.
Which one?
One of them.
Kira or Caitlin?
All right.
Yep.
Everybody say hi to Uncle Pooh and Tommy.
So, guys,
Hello, how are you? You guys are live on YouTube right now.
Find me on YouTube. Yeah.
If you go to the Number 9 with Tommy podcast on YouTube, you can watch yourselves live.
Or go to number9podcast.com and click on the live stream link. We're right there.
Can they hear us?
Yes.
They can. That's why nobody's laughing.
There's two of you.
Well, no, there's only one of me.
There's only one of me as well. They're confused of which one is you.
Who is that? What's up, Caitlin? How you doing?
Hi, good.
Are you in school yet?
No, not until September 7th.
September 7th.
That's the day after Labor
Yeah.
Day.
Thanks, bro.
Just saying. Just trying to help out.
What grade are you, how excited are you for school?
Not really.
Are you not excited because you're in a new place?
No, I just don't want to go to school.
Okay. Caitlin, just so you know, because we are in fact live on the internet, I do not want you to say anything about your age or where you're at or nothing that could identify you individually. Okay? Just so you know. We're just being a little cautious. So, how are things?
Good.
What'd you do
I'm in a
today?
mood, so
What'd you-
I can't do much. But we've been doing like this school program where we get to go in and like it's for 3 hours every day, and you are with your group and you move classes 3 times, and so it's not really school, but you get to go in and stuff. So
You sound exactly like your mother. It is almost alarming how similar you sound. It's not just like the accent, it's I mean everything about the way you speak. It's weird. I'm sorry, the way you phrased that, you said we get to go in as if to say it was a positive. You're enjoying this experience?
yes, because you don't actually, besides in math, you actually have to do math. But like one of the classes is like the counselor, so you just like actually do fun stuff half the time.
Okay.
In all the classes, we just play like volleyball with the beach ball.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty sweet. How many kids are there?
In my class, there's like 9 of us maybe. A lot of the kids that signed up didn't end up going.
Do you have that one kid that no matter how many kids have fun playing volleyball, just like sits off to the side and doesn't really enjoy themselves?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Why does that kid exist? It makes no sense to me.
I don't know. I'm like, even like the new ones that came in this week, because we had it last week and this week, Monday through Thursday, even like she is playing it and everything on her first day, and he's just still sitting off to the side. I'm like, okay.
It makes no sense to me. I don't get it.
No.
Now they probably say the exact opposite about me. They're like they have their own podcast. They're like, you remember that kid that just sweat way too much because he was playing too hard in gym class? Like, I don't get it. Why did he
Pat.
try so hard?
Pat, to be fair, you stand up off the bleachers and you start sweating.
It's true. Caitlin, this is a little known fact about Uncle Pooh. I sweat when I eat and I sweat when I tie my shoes.
True story. I've seen it.
It's disgusting.
It is.
It's gonna be Steven when he grows up. He sweats so easy.
It's not the greatest trait to have. But you know what? You learn to live with it. You make little adjustments. Like I'll carry a towel or I'll carry a paper towel or a napkin with me just to blot the nastiness that is my face. Nasty face.
Mason's in the chat. Sorry, boys. Lost track of time. Good
Oh.
thing I tucked.
Look at this. Now there's live people on the chat. Oh, I lost Caitlin. We didn't even have to get passed around. Caitlin nailed it, bro.
Yeah. Home run.
She had no problem. She was like, nope, live, got it. Here we go.
Kalen's good. Smart kid. Like her daddy. Yeah, right. Like her mama.
Dude, how crazy is it how similar Caitlin and Christy speak?
Well, or how clumsy they are, or yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pardon me. I'm just closing up the office here. I got a lot of equipment in here. I don't need people looking in the windows and stuff.
Man,
Yeah,
I wish I
blessing
had
me,
a
of course,
Papa
to work
John's
from
around
home.
here.
I no longer have a commute. Like I don't have any time to like soak up content. I walk downstairs and I'm at work. It's weird, man. It's weird. You know, like you used to come home, take off the uniform, like there was this mental break, and then you'd pop and be like, all right, cool. Like I threw civilian clothes on now, like normal life, and now there's no break. Like there's no seams. So it's weird getting used to it. or you'd get tired after an hour, like you're on the computer, you answer some emails, you do some planning or whatever, and it's like, whew, my eyes are tired. I'm gonna go talk to some airmen. I'm like recharge the batteries, right? Do the leadership thing, get out from behind the desk, and so like you kind of navigate your day. And now it's like you're just locked in like Zoom meetings, and it's just 9 hours a day of just like staring at a screen. It's
Awesome.
Two things. One, that
cracked up
sounds awful. Two,
yeah, work from home ain't always cracked up to be.
I wish we were recording and not just doing this live, because that would have been, good talk.
It is. I mean, it's a valid question. Like, we need, as a society, need to be asking ourselves. Like, everybody thinks it sounds so great. Like, oh, we'll never go back to work the way we used to be. Is that the right thing for our society?
No,
That
No,
people are
absolutely not.
Disconnected from each other.
Not only that, never mind the disconnection, because that obviously is going to cause massive problems in the future. But the immediate threat.
But we want it that way, because then we can fuck with people's heads more. We can control elections in our electorate.
Well, that's true. My thing my thing is always like the woman who gets abused by her husband.
Control minds, right?
Yeah, I
will
think
obey. You will obey.
I fear the people who are trapped in their homes, not the people who get to work from home, but the people, if the wife is getting her ass kicked by the husband, or the kids are getting their ass kicked by their parents.
They probably deserve it.
Yeah,
this is
now that moment of reprieve that I get to go to school with my friends or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's for real. It's a real thing.
We're gonna
That's how I am. I mean, Chrissy whips my ass all the time. What am I gonna do?
I have an hour drive to and from work, and I need it because it gets me into work mode and it gets me out of work mode. I don't think I could work from home.
A little long for me, but like 20-30 minutes is good.
Yeah, you adjust mentally.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I definitely music helps. Like what you're listening to on the way to work and what you're listening to on the way home from work. Two different types of music.
Sure.
Tom, you gonna kick us off on this next episode?
Sure.
Right. Good days, ma'ams and sirs.
Nice.
Man, I wish I hit record by the time you did that.
I should read the intro to the first episode.
You should.
You want to look for it?
Yeah, sure.
You should not.
Why? It's just going to be me ripping Tom to shreds. The first 30 intros were just me making fun of Tom.
Oh, the first ever intro to the first episode ever?
Yeah.
Do we have that written down on because we weren't using Google Drive then?
No, but I would have it in my notes.
All right, hurry up.
All right, I'll quickly look. If I can't find it, I'm out.
Oh man, Mason tuned in for this. You fucking around with your phone.
No, well, I text Mason after we recorded the first episode because he's usually a loyal number niner. But as my shirt says, fuck you, Mason. That's one.
That's one.
He lost track of time tonight, apparently.
Great news. I started writing my intros in my phone at episode 9. So
we'll read that one.
What? Oh my god! And I didn't write them in a way that's easy to read. Nope, I'm out on this. It's a fucking paragraph.
You can tell that by the way you say them out loud. They must not be easy to read. Either that or you're half illiterate.
You know what? I don't understand what's happening right now. Why am I being attacked?
I love it.
Who knew? Patrick's Afghan.
Patrick what?
Patrick's Afghan. That's going to be the name of the episode. And nobody's going to know why. Because it's not going to be in any episodes.
Yeah, we're not recording this.
And it's not Afghani. Afghani's money. Afghans are people. Afghani is money.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I would definitely say the Afghani people.
Or like this reporter that was talking about, like, I can hear them screaming death to America behind me. And the guy was yelling Allah Akbar, which means praise be to God. So, bitch, you overplayed your hand.
Stephen, once again, we are not recording.
Yeah,
and this gosh darn it, Stephen.
Well, then get me there.
All right.
That's what he said.
Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to another episode, part 2 of whatever we named this episode.
Yeah, it doesn't have a title yet.
So we got Steven, Pat's older brother, on the show. He's a retired Air Force. I'm going to butcher what he did in the Air Force.
He was a comms guy.
Cyber operations.
Yeah, but what was your final
Rank?
rank?
That's apropos to nothing. No, I was a major. Joined
Okay.
as an E1, left as an 04.
Perfect. So he's on the show. We're talking about the Afghan crisis, as I've called it. A little bit of insight from somebody that was there multiple times, and kind of his point of view on what's going on over there.
I like how you really dug deep. You were like, we're going to dig into the Afghan crisis, as I've grown to call it. Really, you just, what the fuck?
Bro,
You really dug deep on that one.
Let's go deep on that, Tom.
Patrick's Afghan.
For whom is this a crisis?
So this is the way I view it, and this is just me, a dumb American. One, it's a crisis for the people of Afghanistan. It's a crisis. It can become a very, at least the way it's being portrayed, as a crisis for us, right? Because the Taliban attacked us on 9/11. What's going to stop them now?
Al Qaeda attacked us on 9/11. The Taliban just refused to turn over their leader.
Oh, very good. But so they're terrorists, right? So that's
Yeah,
what
how
they're.
old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was
The
12.
Taliban would not characterize themselves as terrorists. They would say they were a political party with a military wing.
This is very Scarface of them. I'm a political refugee from Cuba.
Yeah, but do they?
Not all. Hey, not every nation's government model is built on American ideals, right? But
So
they
let
would
me
not
ask
call
you
themselves
this.
terrorists. They harbored terrorists in Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden,
So
but they themselves are not terrorists. They never did anything to terrorize anybody. They were governing a country.
So let me ask you, because again, this is coming from somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about anything.
Sure.
Obviously, I just said that they attacked us on 9/11, and when in
Okay.
fact you are right. I remember as soon as you said it was Al Qaeda. Osama bin Laden was in charge of the Taliban, correct?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Osama bin Laden had theoretically no affiliation with the Taliban other than he was using Afghanistan, which was run by the Taliban, to train terrorists for Al Qaeda. So Al Qaeda was just the new name for what we would have called, or they would have called the Mujahideen when the Soviets were there, right? We were talking about that last episode.
Yeah.
So, bin Laden was like their big general. So like imagine like George Washington, right, rises up in the ranks through the French and Indian War, and then into the American Revolution, and then becomes president. Although short of president, Osama bin Laden like rises up through the ranks in the Mujahideen, having come from not Afghanistan but Saudi Arabia, and like becomes this freedom fighter, and they love him, they follow him. The Taliban took control of the semi-central government after the Soviets withdrew from Afghanistan. And Al Qaeda just operated wherever they wanted, but centered in Afghanistan.
So at the end of the day, based on what you just told me, I would very clearly say that the Taliban is not a terrorist organization, but Al Qaeda is.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So this really makes no sense to me why the fuck we were there other than they were harboring
That's
this
actually
guy.
so I asked you, I said, how old were you when it happened? Because this was at the time there were so many things, like we were going after Osama bin Laden, then all of a sudden we were going after Saddam, and it was like, whoa, why the fuck are you doing that? And then we kept making these little turns in the war on terror. Then we gave it the name, the war on terror. And people kept saying, but that's not why we're there. You heard that a lot. That's not why we're there. And we kept doing these other things like, hey, since we're over here, we might as well kill these motherfuckers too. And I think how you have that misconception. You might not remember that period. Right.
Again, something that had nothing to fucking do with us.
Right, but you might have been too young to remember those things.
Like there was the funny thing about Iraq. Like you want to talk about like losing the stick on strategic communications. There were a couple really compelling arguments that we should theoretically have overturned Saddam's regime in Iraq, and then none of them were actually presented as the reason for invading Iraq. We trumped up this like WMD thing. So like I don't know, like I think I honestly think that guy had like good intentions, but he just couldn't avoid himself, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go finish what Dad started. There's that kind of creeping up in your mind. He couldn't, like, Dick Cheney's in his ear, Rumsfeld's in his ear. Those were all his old dad's fucking cronies.
So
Right.
you're saying when George Bush was president, he had Dick in his ear?
Both of them.
I just want to be clear.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Mason has a good point.
Theoretically, Colin Powell, who was the Secretary of State at the time, went in and said, "Hey, here's the plan. This is how we rebuild Iraq. The State Department will come in after the invasion, and we'll do all these things." And he said, "I appreciate that, General Powell, but Don Rumsfeld and the Department of Defense are going to handle this."
Man, I
How'd
remember
that work out?
I remember thinking so highly of Colin Powell. What happened with Colin Powell?
He Cartmaned the whole thing. Like, fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Like, you're going to pay me. Like, we pay the Secretary of State a lot of money, like taxpayer dollars, right? This is a retired four-star general. He does not need money.
right.
You hired me to do a job. You're going to take the American taxpayer monies to pay me to do the job. I tell you how I should do the job, and you say no? Like, if you're not going to fucking listen, I'm going home.
I love that you turned Cartman into a verb to make that point. That's fucking amazing.
Cartman that shit. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
That's fucking great.
Mason has a good point. He said everyone is a terrorist. It all depends on whose point of view you're looking from.
Yeah, man. Sam Adams was a terrorist. Like, I like my coffee black and my tea in the harbor. Right?
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Terrorists, right? Sons of Liberty.
Those motherfuckers.
That's a terrorist organization if I ever heard one. If you name your organization and then start wreaking havoc.
So one, I feel a lot better after just having that brief discussion about if the Taliban's in charge in Afghanistan, really no effect for Americans, right? Like, they're not going to come and attack Americans.
Yeah, they haven't gained power or gained wealth or weaponized or anything crazy.
Even if they did, their fight.
No. Well, and let's talk about international hypocrisy, right? If they gained wealth, they banked it in Qatar, and we're fine with Qatar, even though every terrorist organization in the world funnels money through the Bank of Qatar.
All right, good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the show Jack Ryan?
Okay with the Qataris, they're our friends. So they can bank all the terrorist money they want.
I'm sorry, people of Qatar are known as Qataris?
Qataris.
That's the best fucking type of people. I want to be a Qatari. Oh, that's great.
Have you ever watched the show Jack Ryan?
Yeah.
Great show.
Season 1 more than season 2, but season 2 I got into after a few episodes.
So I hate to say this, right? But I'm really the whole time I'm watching. So I just watched it recently. And the whole time,
that's some real shit. Like, the kids get bombed. Oh, okay, spoiler alerts.
I love these. Go ahead. Pat,
you don't know this about Tom, Steven, but we do movie reviews on the show pretty frequently, and Tom literally gives the end of the movie every fucking time. It's the worst decision ever.
No, this is literally the beginning of the show, right? So it's hardly a teaser, let alone a spoiler. But the two kids that live through the American airstrike, right, and lose family members, and what happens? They become terrorists.
Yep.
There's been tons of studies, tons of numbers put out from major universities through the course of this whole thing over the last 20 years, right?
I'm going to get
insert ratio here, but for every terrorist you kill, you create 2 or 3 more, because someone's looking across the street going, "We were just living our life and you killed my uncle. I'm gonna fuck you up," right?
We've seen that back to 24 with Jack Bauer there, Kiefer Sutherland. That was one of the main storylines for a season was kind of just a family tradition type of thing.
Mason says you should hear his review of Uncut Gems. Have you seen
that movie? Everybody talks so highly of it.
If you'd like to know how it ends, listen to the episode where Tommy does the review.
I'll just tell you now. You're not a big gambler, right? You don't gamble or anything?
I don't gamble.
Okay.
I don't even buy lottery tickets.
So I'm a
You know how I know you're not a big gambler? Because we have a $5 a week pick'em pool that you refuse to be a part of. By the way, anybody who is in our pick'em pool, you will see picks made under the name Number 9 with Tommy podcast. We might as well announce it now. Ex-football superstar and legend in my mind, high school football superstar, I should mention. He was not an actual football superstar. Steven will
Who the
be...
fuck are you talking about? Oh, me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven will be making the picks as the Number 9 with Tommy podcast.
And the only reason we're doing that, right, is
I
because
will defend my unofficial title as superstar. It is odd to come back to this area and like everybody we meet up with or like have, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever with, like are telling the kids like you should have seen your dad play football. It was like, and it's in my mind, it's been 20 some odd years since like I couldn't play anymore. And I'm like, have I built it up in my mind? Was I really not as good as I thought? And so it's funny to hear like other people, like I never would have thought someone would have been like, you should have seen like the guy was special. So it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
not only that, but I mean, you've also lived through 3 children, 20-year marriage, several deployments. Like you've done more than play football, but you're picking up with them where you literally just stopped playing football 20 years ago, but they've missed everything in between.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, I've stopped through the area. Every time I fly through Norfolk, Dorman comes, picks me up. We go get a beer. We get some seafood. I've sent like scarves from Afghanistan back to people, coins and stuff over the years.
I bet they were
done
super
my
excited
best.
to get those scarves.
I didn't get you a scarf. You're already gay enough. You don't need a scarf.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't get me a scarf. You always are on point with your gift
They're
giving.
really soft. They're silk.
So anyway, so I'm a compulsive gambler. And so the entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm on like pins and needles. I don't really like it because the guy's always losing, and I'm really upset, right? And
Fuck me, sorry, Tommy. I thought Patrick just disappeared. I was like, holy shit, how did his fat ass get out of the camera that quick?
he's like, man, I gotta put the scotch down. Crazy shit's happening over there. So,
I have one scotch and I'm seeing things. No, yeah, okay. Sorry.
So at the end of the movie, he has like 300K, right? And he has his mistress that he's banging fly to Mohegan and put it all on this one game. And he owns a jewelry store. And
Okay. Yeah,
That-
tracking the jewelry store.
That word was jewelry. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't say that
Tom
word.
really struggled with that one.
The jewelry.
Yeah, that
Oh
one.
my God, what was the word you couldn't say?
She doesn't look Druish.
Fuck.
I knew she was a Jewish princess.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, Tom over the course of like a month and a half learned how to say the word idiocracy.
Yeah,
it was fucking fantastic.
On the show right here,
But how
right?
true is that movie, Tom?
He hated it. And he spoiled
Yeah,
it for
you
everybody
can
who
hate it all
hasn't
you
seen
want,
it.
But it was
But-
like a fucking prophecy.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what we're going through. It's
I'm pretty sure I actually saw my neighbor watering their yard with Gatorade the other day. That's where we're at.
Because
So-
it has the thing, it's got electrolytes. The things
Yeah.
that find
yeah,
it great.
electrolytes. That's what we all need. Just electrolytes. So anyway, so
What were we talking about?
his girlfriend goes and
Uncut
places
gems.
this bet with like $300,000, and if he wins, he's gonna win millions, right? And he owes all these people money, so they come to collect their money, and they're gonna take gems from him. And he locks them in his store with him, and makes them watch the game, right?
Hold on. They're in, so like between the entrance and the actual store, there's a secluded area that with like bulletproof glass and everything. These guys are
It's
trapped.
like a hand trap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
it.
So he's not like sitting back watching the game with them. He has fucked them like they can't pee.
Yeah, and they're stuck in this little thing while he's in his store watching the game, making them watch him, right? And they win, right? So he wins all this money, and you're so amped for him. Like, finally, dude, he caught his break, you know?
He can pay all of his debts.
Yeah, he could pay all of his debts and be done. He unlocks him from the room, comes in, one of the dudes shoots him right in the face. And that's it. They steal all this
What do
stuff.
you think
And
was going to happen?
Tommy was devastated. He
I was-
hated it.
Tommy, unknowingly, you just gave me a perfect analogy for Afghanistan. What did you think was going to happen?
that's true.
Look at that. We're making links here on the Number 9 with Tommy
As soon as the
podcast
United
today.
States left, the Taliban is the power in the nation, in the country, within the borders of what we would call a nation. You call a confederacy, you can call a loose grouping of provinces, whatever you want to call it. The Taliban is the strongest game in town.
So
What do you think is gonna happen?
we let them out of the man trap. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who
Mason
shot him was
doubled
his
down
brother.
on the spoiler with the guy who shot him was his brother. Thanks, Mason.
Hold on.
No, that wasn't his brother. It was
All right, let's
his.
not get too far off.
Yeah, man. Jeez.
All
Back
right.
to what we were talking about, Mason. You know what, Mason? Fuck you. That's two.
Fuck
Nope,
you,
that's one because this is a new episode.
Oh yeah. You know what, Mason? Fuck you.
Mm.
That's one.
Is it though?
Yes.
All right.
It's a brand new episode. So Pat, back to your question for we teased this on the last episode, kinda. What's your next question for Steven?
Oh yeah, we terribly teased this. This is
Dude,
like
you gotta call me Steve. Jesus Christ, the fucking Steven is killing me.
that's this guy. I think I've done pretty well.
Hold on. So I can call you Steve?
You can only call
Yeah.
him Steve.
Jesus.
It's very weird. We grew up our entire lives calling him Steven. And then one day
Because
he's just Steve.
my mom. All right, here's the deal, right? Scott, Steven, Michael, Anthony, Patrick. According to my mom, that equals Scott, Steven, Michael, Tony, Pooh Bear. So my brothers, my friends would come to the house and they're like, "Hey, Steve," and she's like, "His name is Steven. If I wanted him to be called Steve, we would call him Steve." And I'm like, "Mom, we call Anthony Tony, and we call Patrick fucking Pooh Bear. Why can't I be Steve?" And I'd get beat for it, right? So
That's what you get for talking
Christmas,
back.
Like 15 years ago, I sent her a blanket. It was like a family tree, and it was like Scott, Patrick, Anthony, Michael, Steve. Like 4 days before Christmas, she calls me and she's like, "You think you're fucking funny?" I was like, "Ooh, someone opened their Christmas present early."
For the record, that Christmas present is still proudly on display in her home at all times.
Hold on, I just want to throw this out there. I thought you preferred being called Steven.
Because that's what I call him.
Made it a
No.
point to call you that. I much rather call you Steve. So what's your
Yeah,
next question
Steve.
for Steve?
Yeah, I haven't been called anything other than Steve, Dad, or Smash for the last 20 years.
Real nice, Patrick.
How's this on me, bro?
Way to set your boy up.
Yeah,
Fuck.
make me
You
look
see,
like an
my
asshole.
white
I did the same
size
thing on the
fucking-
last episode too.
Oh, I know.
You're such an asshole.
I know, and I was trying, Tommy. I was trying to put up with it, but I can only take so much, man.
You should have just told me not to run.
Steve, and
I'm not
while we're on the subject, you know what name Tom hates to be called?
It's true
Tom.
story.
And the name of the podcast is The Number 9 with Tommy.
I didn't tell Christy I was ordering a pizza, and the doorbell just rang.
Nice. Did you already pay for it?
Yeah,
Do you
Oh.
think she's going to deliver it to you live on air?
I don't know. I could just be in trouble.
Somebody at the door.
It's my pizza.
Oh.
She said there's somebody at the door. So if I get, and I was like, "It's my pizza," she said, "Oh my god."
I feel like
Classic.
now you've got a pretty good shot at getting it delivered because she's on air. She
Yes.
knows. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
awesome.
Okay, on the last
Nobody's
podcast,
gonna like what's on this pizza either, so fuck them.
that's actually where we're headed. On the last podcast, we were discussing.
It wasn't
Possible
on a
toppings
podcast.
and
it was in
sauces.
between.
Oh, that's right. It was when we weren't fucking recording. We were doing it live. Steven,
That is
what did
correct.
you decide to get on your pizza for all the people watching live at home?
If I remember correctly, I did have a 12-hour workday and a scotch, but if I remember correctly, it was spicy Italian sausage, Tommy's favorite to eat,
Yep, yep.
Facts.
and then like pretty much all the vegetables. Like
Okay.
onion, green pepper, jalapenos, mushrooms.
Oh, you
I'm
do the
out on the
mushrooms, huh?
mushrooms.
You do olives too?
I like my veggies, man. If
Oof.
I'm gonna order a pizza, I've got to at least try to convince myself it's semi-healthy, so I throw some veggies on there. At least there's some vitamins.
That's why he looks the way he looks, and we look the way we look.
No doubt.
She's out there like getting this guy's life history and shit.
How far is your front door from where you're at right now?
10 feet, 15 feet.
Okay.
All right, you want to? Oh, did they deliver?
Is she delivering?
I didn't leave him out in the dark. Can I have the plate, please, my love? Damn. I didn't get the pizza delivered, but she refused a plate.
I mean, you have the box, bro.
Yeah, that's how I eat all my pizzas.
No, hashtag no free ads, but here we are. Papa John's looking
Nice.
sexy.
Did you get the
Wings
cheesy
dip?
bread? Oh, wings. I
That's-
would have got cheesy bread, man. Come on.
That's one box I'd love to eat out of. You know what I mean? Steven did not think that was funny at all.
I don't think he knows what
I
you're
just
referring
know
to.
some of the boxes. Well, I don't know some of. I've heard the stories. It's not good. Thank you, my love.
Why can she not come on camera and be live?
I don't think
Because she don't like you.
that makes
That's
sense.
not true. I'm definitely her favorite brother-in-law.
Yeah, right next to
What's your
Tony.
competition? No.
Yeah, right next to Tony, Michael.
Yeah, no, she
Scott.
loves all you guys.
But me the most. I
You
understand.
the least.
It's 9 o'clock at night here. It's like an hour past her bedtime. She's not trying to put up with our shit right now.
I like how you said it's 9 o'clock at night here, like we're still in different
Yeah,
time zones.
Like we're in.
Oh, that's true, right?
Yeah,
That's weird, man. We're all in the same time zone. That's good.
it's
Well,
wonderful.
I've been 20 years.
So
Are you gonna put out this question, Pat, or what?
Is it
Steven,
rude if I eat while we're podcasting?
no, I mean it makes for horrible radio, but
On one of the last episodes, we
I don't know, man. I don't have dinner.
on Sunday, we ordered McDonald's, took a break, and ate it live on YouTube. So you're
yeah,
fine.
so you know you're not doing anything that's unprecedented here.
Oh, yeah.
Steven, there's an elected official over there. She's a female. She's the first female elected official in history over there, from what I understand. Huh?
She's a mayor.
She's a mayor. Okay. What do these recent developments mean for her? I mean, this is not a group of people who are exactly fond of women in power.
Nope. Did you see the CNN news correspondent that was there? You know, she's got the hijab on. She's very conservatively dressed. By Western standards, she's like covered from head to toe. And she actually asked the guy. He said, she said, "Will women be allowed to work?" And they said, "Well, if women are appropriately dressed, then we will work alongside them, right? But they have to be dressed appropriately." And she said, "Am I dressed appropriately?" And he said, "No, I can see your face and your hands."
Oh my god.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some shit Americans aren't prepared to hear, right?
Yeah, it's insane to me because we have so many women who have made such a difference, women who have invented, women who have created, and to basically not consider them, I don't know, equal, worthy, whatever, human. It's insane to me.
Do you know why Muslim women cover their hair and dress so conservatively?
I do not.
Because their role is to protect the honor of their family.
Okay.
So consider the perspective, right? Is there a greater role than to protect the honor of your family?
No.
Right? So again, this is a difference in Eastern and Western and, Judeo-Christian and Muslim ideals. So we have to be very careful when we have these conversations that we're not just putting our idea of right and wrong onto somebody else's culture,
Sure.
right? Now, should they be chopping people's hands off and in Africa they have like they're like castrating women, no, it's horrific.
Hold on, they're castrating women in 2021 in Africa?
Yeah, man, like the whole world is horrible to women. Like America is horrible to women. The United States women's soccer team, now granted, we're talking money, not like health and welfare, but the women's soccer team makes like $30,000 a year, and the men who have like never beat any fucking buddy make like $120,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right? So like, throw the first stone, because we aren't very good to American women either.
Okay.
One.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
But what does this mean to her? Now, there was an Afghan official earlier that came out and said, "We look forward to working shoulder to shoulder with some of these women in their newfound roles and everything." Hopefully. But at the same time, again, like if that's not what Afghanistan wants, then who are we to say it?
Well,
Right?
so in my
if Afghanistan wants their women to work, then they should rise up, overthrow the Taliban, and let the women work.
but in my as a Muslim, like I'm not Muslim, I can't even tell you if I know somebody that is Muslim, right?
Sure.
But that perspective, right? That their number one job is to um protect what did you say there?
The honor of the family.
Yeah, the honor of the family, right?
Yeah.
In some ways, you can almost look at that and say, "Well, I'm more important than men." Like they treat like my role is so significant. I'm protecting this family.
Sure, you still don't have
And-
the freedom that a man has, but you could say that I'm honored more than a man.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
could.
your role is more. Yeah, I mean, your role is more sacred, right?
Yeah.
It might not be more practical outside the home, but it's more sacred to who you are as people and your journey towards heaven and all those things, right?
Well,
So
and it's what
let's
do you
understand
want
what we're
as
talking
equality? Like, what do you consider equality? And in that culture, that could very well mean that you're above men.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't.
I could see that argument. It is not the way it is, but I could see your point.
Right. Right.
Do you
I'm just
do you
saying,
think
like-
it's comparable, this idea of women covering their skin to protect the honor of the family? Not a direct correlation, but do you think that there is in fact a correlation between us 50, 60, 70 years ago saying, a woman's purpose is to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen? Do you think that that's a fair relationship?
I mean, do we ever really say that though? Like
Pat does it all the time.
We don't in 2021.
that was kind of a mischaracterization of what it was though, right? Like there were like very true like Better Homes and Gardens or like Good Housekeeping, like these articles about like they're telling housewives, they're like, make sure you ask your husband how his day was, because whatever happened to him today was more important than what happened to you.
Dude, it's unreal. I have a page out of our mother's textbook,
Yeah.
from home ec, and it's like instructions on what to do for your husband before he gets home, and it's like wash the kids' hands and faces because he doesn't want like nasty kids when he comes home. It's like make sure dinner's hot, and if he's not home on time, so dinner's cold, make sure you do what you need to keep it hot, and don't be mad at him because you don't know what the fuck he was doing. Like maybe he had a hard day. Be easy on him.
Can you give me a copy of this book?
It's
Right,
it's pretty crazy, huh?
Here's the deal. I can see how some women would find that like, oh, we're holding women down, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What I don't like about America right now is that we've convinced women that that's in no way acceptable. What if a woman, in her own right, thinks that that's what would fulfill her?
I absolutely agree. I
Why
could not
can't
agree
women
more.
Do whatever they want. But we've convinced women that if you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, a housewife, whatever you want to call it, that's not good enough.
Yeah, if you want to go with that traditional,
That's bullshit.
right. Yeah, if you want to be home again, barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, taking care of the house and the children while your husband's the breadwinner, then you're
God
basically
bless you.
somebody's bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If you wanna
insane.
do, God bless you. If you want to go to work, God bless you. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do what's right for your family.
There's no way that you can convince me that one person taking care of the inside of the home and the other person taking care of the outside of the home is a bad fucking play. It just makes sense.
Right.
And I don't
Sure.
mean the man does one and the woman does the other. Either
We've
one
seen
could
it.
do
When
either
Kristen
one.
retired, we lost $37,000 a year, and our life was 100% better.
Sure, there you go. I get that.
But Christy still feels the pressure of society to tell people right after she says, well, I don't work, but I am retired from the Air Force. Like, why do you have to follow that up? Who gives a fuck if you don't work? You work for our family.
Right.
You
Yeah.
need our family. You take care of our children. You're raising the next generation of Gallaghers. What's more important than that?
Not only that, but and I realize, I guess in this particular situation, we're not really stereotyping because you're saying you have those traditional roles. But if Christy's doing fucking 5 people's laundry and cooking 5 fucking people's meals and cleaning up after 5 people, dude, that's way more than a 40-hour-a-week job. That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to wean her off that, though. These kids need to start doing their own fucking laundry.
I don't disagree. How
I'm
old's
with
the
you, bro.
oldest?
That's life skills, man. Start picking up some weight around here.
Not only that, I mean, they can be cooking, they can be cleaning, they can be doing their own laundry.
I just want to throw this out there. If you're a stay-at-home dad, more power to you too.
Yeah.
Don't encourage Tom. Tom's trying to get out of working and having
What are you
Erica
talking
take
about?
care
We
of
have a
him.
loyal number 9er that has retired from his professional role and has become a stay-at-home dad, and more power to him.
Do we?
Yes.
One that I know?
You have not met, but you have heard about him.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm fine with other people doing it. I thought you were trying
No,
to
listen,
get us
that's my
to
goal in
support you
life
doing
is
it.
to do this for a living and be a stay-at-home dad.
I get you.
If you're
That-
actually cooking, cleaning, and doing the laundry, then more power to you.
Yeah, if you're gonna do those.
If
Yeah,
you're
I'm not
sitting
gonna
on
do
your
that.
ass playing video games all day and waiting for your wife to come home to do everything, you're an asshole.
Oh, well, anyway, moving off of me. What's the next question? For Steve. Not you're texting somebody that has anything to do with this podcast. Perfect.
So Steven.
Steve. He prefers to be called Steve. What the fuck's the matter?
He prefers to be called Steve by you, bro.
And you.
We never answered the question of the woman that's the mayor in Afghanistan.
Yeah, what's it mean for her?
I don't know. If we're doing the right thing, then it's extraction. She comes to America. Unfortunately, she can't go home, but she can live in America, and we'll give her citizenship, and maybe she gets into American politics.
Let me ask you this.
Maybe she ends up being a diplomat. She goes on the foreign service.
I'll tell you right now that if this woman became the first female politician in Afghanistan, moves to America via extraction, and gets into American politics and becomes an elected official, that will be one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen.
Right?
God, that'd be a good story.
But it won't. We'll complain about it because it's our agenda one way or the other. On the other end of that spectrum, I guess maybe that's kind of the middle of the spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, like the great, rosy sunglasses, maybe the Taliban have semi-evolved their thought processes. Maybe they make her wear a burqa, but they say, hey, you can still stay in politics. They find some kind of compromise that kind of suits everybody, and they can move forward.
Sure, right? you are a symbol that means something to people. We want you in power because you mean something to people. I can get behind that.
Right. Maybe the whole thing kind of evolves semi-naturally.
Steven, I don't know if you when was the last time you watched a professional wrestling program?
No.
We probably lived in the house together the last time I watched
Okay, so it's been a couple years. Gotcha.
over
the course of the last, I'm going to say 4 years, the WWE has been going to Saudi Arabia once or twice a year, and the beginning of this over the course of the 4 years was the women on the roster could not go to Saudi Arabia, so some of the men refused. As we've evolved, the women were actually able to have. There were 2 women, a one-on-one match, and they wrestled with long sleeves and long pants and their hair up. And this most recent one, the women wrestled in their actual wrestling gear, huge strides in Saudi Arabia television.
That's
and
cool.
you're talking teenage girls who are freaking the fuck out because they're like, that's what I want to be when I grow up, which is really, really exciting.
That's very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Little baby
in
steps.
Saudi, women are starting to drive now. They are still, killing journalists in Turkey.
Okay.
The Saudis are killing their own journalists in Turkey at the consulate. But look, this is a very different place, right?
I love that you chose chicken wings for the podcast so we can hear you suck the juice off
So I
your
can
fingers.
suck my fingers, yeah.
That's awesome.
Or that Papa John's, to
Pat
their
yourself fat.
detriment, did not bring napkins with them. Who the fuck delivers a pizza and wings and doesn't throw you a couple of napkins?
Yeah, or a wet wipe. I love the smell of a wet wipe.
What the hell is the matter with you?
Do you don't like the smell of wet wipes?
I love the smell of a wet wipe.
No, you get ribs at the restaurant and they give you the little wet wipe. The things smell amazing.
Pat doesn't even clean his hands with it. He just
I
opens them
do
and
at
smells
42
his
years old understand what a wet wipe is.
Hold on. Tom was making a point. He was trying to be funny, but he was 100% accurate. Tom, say that again.
Oh my god. Pat doesn't clean his fingers with the wet wipe. He opens them and shoves them in his face so he can smell
That
them.
is correct. Yes, I do.
36 years old, bud.
I also will I'll wipe it along my mustache so it just stays there,
I was gonna bring up something else that I do with that, but I'm not gonna.
All right.
That's super weird. So,
All right.
that's one end of the spectrum, right? So the end of the spectrum, there's actually some kind of a compromise. She gets to continue to practice politics even with the Taliban in power. Somewhere in the middle, we get her out of there. She comes to the States. Maybe she continues her career, maybe not, but at least she's safe. and can find some like modicum of happiness in the United States. The other end of that spectrum is that she's got a target on her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reality.
So time will tell on, unfortunately, her future.
Yep.
Stephen, 2 more questions. 1, is the world, or at least this region of the world, better off because of the American lives that were lost, because of all the hard work that went into it, because of all the money that was invested, because of all the time and the families that were ripped apart? Is that region of the world better off because of what we've done?
That's the $1 million question, man. I think in places it is. I think the global economy, the world in general, has benefited from our involvement in the Middle East in the last. And like, hey, keep in mind, right? This isn't just 9/11 onward, right? The first Gulf War was 1991, so we're talking the better part of 30, 35 years now. The Hezbollah bombing of the Marine barracks in Beirut in early 1980s. So the United States has been invested heavily in blood and treasure in the Middle East for a long time, since we installed the Shah in the 70s in Iran. I think the greater world is probably better off.
Okay.
But that's come at a price. And sadly to say, that's for the people of the Middle East. I don't know that these people are better off.
Okay.
I don't know that even in Saudi Arabia, even in Iraq, like we've talked about, like Saddam Hussein was a fucking asshole. That dude deserved to die. He deserved to be taken out of power and go, right?
Right.
But was that ours to do? Right? Are these people better off? I don't know. I think the world is better, right? Economies more more stable, allies built, Israel safe. Like there's lots of strategic things at play. Russia kept out of warm water ports that would have otherwise been accessed. Like there's lots of things at play. It's not as simple as saying like, hey, is it good or bad? It's not good or bad. It's a lot of things. But like, is like the average Afghan better? I don't know, man.
Okay.
I hope so.
Thumbs in the middle. That's a alarmingly disappointing answer.
Tom's got this look on his face like, oh shit.
Tom just actually understood what a true depression feels like. He just sunk into one.
No, it just makes you think, like, this is my, like, I get what he's saying, right? Like, some of this, and I keep harping on this, right? We spent 20, 30, 40 years over there at this point for our own interest, while Russia and China had just been growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing.
Sure.
And you know who? There's only 2 countries on the planet that can take out the United States. It's Russia and China. Think about it.
Well,
everybody wanted to, like, people talk shit about us being friends with Russia. Well, we kind of have to be friends with them, because if we're not, we're going to be in some fucking trouble. Because China don't like us.
With Russia.
Well, I wouldn't say allies, right? But friendly.
We're not allies with Russia.
Oh, I know. But we have to be friendly. Like, we're friendly with China.
Them enough that we don't go to war.
I think Tom's saying, and I think everybody had one, that crazy friend that you had in high school who would just punch a motherfucker in the face for looking at him wrong? You kept that guy you kept that guy close enough to not punch you in the face. But if some shit went down, you'd be like, yeah, he's standing next to me. This is good. He's going to punch somebody in the face for me. We're protecting ourselves by not attacking them. They're protecting themselves by not attacking us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one that I have actually thought through and prepared for you, Stephen. One of the things that we got into yesterday, I should say, that you, when we talked yesterday, you were very emotional. You were not, you're not as even keeled and laid back, scotch and fucking chicken wings yesterday. You were actually spraying.
Emotional. I was just tired. Like I've been asked this question 4 times in the last 2 days. All of a sudden, everybody's worried about Afghanistan. For 20 years, we've been over there fucking bleeding for Afghanistan, but all of a sudden in the last like week, it's been important.
Oh,
That's because
I've
the news put it
inadvertently
on.
flipped this hair trigger again. He was spraying Roundup, right? And it was one of the you pull the trigger and it's battery powered, so you can hear the wah, wah. And as he's going, it starts. It's like, wah, hey man, what's up? I'm just doing some weeds, wah, And by the end of it, he's like, fucking. It's just like, all right, man, this is super upset that I called and upset you today.
That happens.
So to that point, Steven, you said we've been bleeding for 20 years, and now all of a sudden everybody gives a shit. What can a normal person do to affect change? Should we be calling our veteran friends more often? Not because this has been going on, but should we make it a routine? Should we be donating money to a specific charity? What can we do to stop saying that we care about the last 20 years and the sacrifices that were made? And what can we do to start actually acting on that feeling? What do you want from the average American? What do other soldiers, retired soldiers, soldiers entering, soldiers still deployed, what do they need from people who are not an active participant in that battle?
Can I say something before Steve does?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that we need to go ahead, change your icon on Facebook to say that you are with Afghanistan, and then post a meme about how you stand behind the soldiers that went over there for the last 20 years, and we love you, America.
I think you should also say thoughts and prayers for sure.
Yeah. That solves it all, right?
Steven, is that good enough?
Steve?
He does not look happy.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
My point was that's what people do.
Like, yeah, you're absolutely right? Like, hey, everybody dump ice on their head and we'll fucking cure Lou Gehrig's disease. Social media posturing, like,
dude, he just referenced the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah. So
I thought that was a good money raiser.
The level of jackassery that goes on social media. Like, here's the deal, right? If you're gonna take videos, like if what we do with our time is watch you dump ice on your head, try to fucking eat like spoonfuls of cinnamon, but then that's where you go to like support veterans, fuck you.
Sure.
Right? So I don't care what the charity is, right? How about like go down to your local VA and like see if someone needs a sandwich while they're waiting in line, right? Like do something that actually means something to you. If you've got a friend that's a veteran, actually calling them, like don't call them because Afghanistan is in the news, call them because you actually give a fuck about the person.
Right.
Right? This is just human interaction. And the weird thing about veterans is like we don't live near our hometown, right? I don't walk down the street and see 20 people I know. I walk down the street and I see the people that I serve with. And so we're on a weird little island. And when you're out in town, like you don't have like, oh look, like Pat, you live a little further away from Ma, right? But like you theoretically go into like Ma's Walmart, and even if she's not at work, like everybody knows who you are, right? Like we don't have that. The people that know me are the people that like live on my street and in my house.
Right.
It's a hard life. Right? That's a hard life. It's a hard life for like everybody watching you too. Or like to like show up at Thomaston High School after your dickhead brothers went there and they all hate you already. But it's a hard life to like just live on an island of kind of anonymity and like you're weird people with the short hair down the street, right?
And to the point, that's funny. The people with the short hair down the street. To accentuate that point, you get your 10, 15 friends, probably one or two families that you're close with, but 10 or 15 that you know, and you maybe give daps at church. And then you said 3?
I have 3 friends from Waltham.
Okay.
I have 5 or 6 people that I'll call and check on periodically. But like guys that I really spend time with.
Yeah.
3.
So you spend 4 years or 8 years in that place, then you move anyway. So
I spent 2 years there.
There you go. So
2 years the assignment before that, 3 years the assignment before that. This life is so hard. My kids have psychological scars where like they won't even like make friends with other kids in school Because why the fuck would I invest interest in this human being? I'm leaving in a year and a half.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know how hard that is for a 13-year-old to tell that to their parents or to hear that from your 13-year-old?
yeah, that's it's. I mean, that
That's
sucks.
what your friends that are serving are going through. Like the deployments, they suck. Like, oh fuck, someone like put cyanide in my food, or not cyanide, but arsenic. You know, someone put arsenic in my food, and I had the shits, and I was lethargic for a while. Right? Someone shot at me. I fucking got my head rocked. You know, by a rocket. Like, oh, poor me. That's not the hard part, man. The hard part's coming home like from a normal day of work, and like you've been planning on like how you'll fucking kill Russians and Chinese people in 20 years. And then your kids are like, I don't have any friends at school. Like, why not? Why don't you talk to Susie or Bobby? And they're like, why would I? We're leaving in a year. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right? When I get selected for promotion and I'm like, babe, they said I can go wherever I want, which means we can go to the house we bought where we were going to retire to. I can take that promotion. I can max out some retirement points. I can blah, blah, blah. She talks to the kids. Daddy got selected for promotion, yada, yada. And my son looks at her and says, does he have to deploy again? That's the only thing he cared about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, since you just took a serious,
So there's a generation of veterans now, and it's only 1% of our society. Thank God. It's not World War II where there were 16 million veterans. But there's 1% of our society that is so disconnected from what this experience has been for the rest of America, and is so disconnected just from the regular world that, you know, like when you say, like, you know, thanks for your service, like, it doesn't mean anything. You
Right.
don't know what that service is.
So I'm gonna say something kind of
That
funny,
hurts.
right? Or not funny, but ironic, right? So my brother is he's serving right now. He's bounced around a little bit. He's been to Alaska. He's been to Florida. He's now stationed in Texas. He's only had one deployment. It was in Kuwait, and he pretty much sounds just like Steve. And the things that he like, yeah, I serve, man. But you know, your thank you for my service doesn't mean shit to me. You don't know what I and listen, his life in my eyes hasn't been that difficult, right? Again, it's but it's that outside look like, dude, that's
How
awesome.
long
And
did you serve, Tom?
well, but that's my point, right? But that's my point. Like,
I'm
dude,
on
that's
Tim's side on this one. Tim, right?
Yeah.
His name?
I'm like,
Timmy and Tommy.
like, dude, it's pretty cool, man. You lived in Alaska for 3 years.
Yeah, where you?
And then bam, dude, he got to go to Florida for 4, right? And then even cooler, he got stationed in Texas. And because of this, like, you don't think of and listen, we live in a day of technology where Steve is in a different state right now. We're in a different state. We're talking to each other live. You know, we're
Which is awesome.
broadcasting. Yeah. Luckily, we're in a you know, where I can if nothing else, right? We're in a society and we have the abilities to stay in contact with people more, but it's like the staying at home thing for work. It's not that human interaction with the same people.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I talk to my brother on a weekly, if at least once a week, right? I would say on average. And he's coming here in the beginning of September, and I'm amped, right? Because even though I see him or I talk to him, I don't get to hug him. You know, those, you know, I don't, you don't have that interaction. So yeah, I mean, that sheds a totally different light on things.
Yeah, even so I guess I'll just play the poor me card here. Even on this end of it, because Steven's moved around a million times. Steve has moved around a million times. He when we're on the phone, because we normally FaceTime, which is cool because we can actually have a conversation face to face. But you know, there are 4 other people in that house that I will probably maybe get like an image of, like he'll turn the phone, they'll be like, hey, and then that's over. Which is, I mean, Steven and I call each other to have a conversation with each other. And honestly, we talk pretty frequently. I don't have an hour and a half every time he calls to talk to every member of the family. So it's important for them, I guess, on the other side of the conversation, to have normal fucking friends and normal relationships. You know, their Uncle
That's
Pooh
fair.
will always be available. They could call me and FaceTime me, but I don't have all the time in the world for them. And
Yeah.
it sounds like what Steven's saying is nobody has all the time in the world for them, because every time they find somebody, they just get taken away from them.
Right.
Not anymore. You're retired. Are they in for investing in relationships at this point? Have we talked about that?
I mean, time will tell, right? That's something that Christy and I as parents will have to kind of like work them through and everything. But yeah.
Well, it's
So-
still kind of new to them, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys only been there a couple of months, and
I will
hasn't
say-
started.
yeah.
Caitlin is super excited. She's enjoying going to school before school even starts, which sounds crazy to me, but she loves it.
They all, yeah. So all three of them had like some level of kind of like a orientation thing last week, where it's kind of some kind of like just knock the cobwebs out of the brain, but then some of it's actual like just fun stuff. The twins actually chose to do a second week of that, just the chance that more kids from the neighborhood, more kids from the school would do the second week, and they'd have an opportunity to meet some people.
Okay. So are there kids coming? I mean, it's so different. Like, when we were little, you just go to wherever everybody was hanging out, and that's how you met the new kid, because everybody was hanging out in the same fucking spot.
Yeah,
Your
and
kids-
everybody's just hanging out on their phones, right? They're on their devices.
Well, not only that, but they're not doing it outside. They're not meeting up at a street corner, because there's a million people that aren't safe to be around, or that, you don't want your
There were
kids
more
around.
when we were kids. There's like so many statistics that say this is like the safest time in American history.
The
That's because
reason
they're
we're-
not outside. Of
Yeah,
course
but the
it's
reason
safer.
we're so scared to
Although actually the last year or two, violent crime is up quite a bit in several cities. But like overall, like this is the safest time. Like the last 10 years have been like in terms of gang violence, drug violence, kidnappings, everything. It's been the safest time in American history. But we've scared the shit out of you. Hey, here's the thing, man. Like we scared you into staying home, into keeping your kids home, and then we gave you ways to shop from home.
Nah, that's valid.
And then to ingest more content that just makes you want to be safer, and then you're scared. So like, how do you get unscared? I've got to inform myself. Let me turn on Fox and CNN. Well, fuck, they just scared the shit out of me. Let me get on Amazon and buy something to make me unscared, right? Like we are creating a self-licking ice cream cone that people are getting rich off of, and we're getting fucked over.
Valid.
Steve, I want to end this, and this is not really related to the Afghan thing, but I think in some ways it might be. In your opinion, what is the greatest threat to American society?
Americans?
You know who hates Americans the most?
Americans.
That's from a song by a guy named Tom McDonald.
You
Give him a
should
The
listen.
listen.
fact that we can't be bothered to research candidates, to go to the polls and vote for who we think will do a good job, the fact that we can't be bothered to like be intelligently involved in our own political process and our own governance, we are our own worst enemy. Internationally, I don't know, it's a toss-up between Russia and China. It is definitely Russia or China, but it's a toss-up between the two. They're bad guys. Make no bones about it. Russia and China are bad.
Do you think that we should stop buying things from China?
Yeah, we got to do something. We got to do something.
Because at the end of the day, if you're buying things from China, you are literally just fueling the fire. You're giving them what they need to overtake.
Is it even possible for, at our level as the consumer, to not buy from China? I mean, you can put made in America on anything with a big fucking Chinese stamp.
Yeah, I mean, even like DeWalt tools, right? Like made in the USA with international materials, right?
Yeah. We
'Cause,
got
like, they
every
bought
piece of
parts
this from
from China.
China, and then we fucking
But, I
duct
mean,
taped
that's
it
a lot of
together
things,
for you.
right? Like you buy an American car and it might get bolted together in Michigan, but
Yeah,
like,
it's
got
assembled in
fucking
America.
Yamaha windows or whatever, right? Like everything's international. Like it's just a global economy.
Well, and I'm fine with
So
that.
is it
but-
possible? Like it's possible to take little chunks here or there. I don't know. I'm with Mother Teresa on this one, man. The most important thing anybody can do is to like love their family, raise their kids well, and like do something nice for your neighbor, right? Like start from the inside out, man. Like love the people in your house, love the people in your neighborhood. You know, we love to tout like, oh look, the poor kids over here or over there, and like it's never really my problem. It's just I'll throw some money at a cause and I'll look like I'm fucking woke because I watch the news about South Africa, but I hate that motherfucker next door because his apples drop on my yard. Look, woke? You're not woke. You're an asshole.
Fake woke.
Like, actually do something in your neighborhood to make your little corner of the globe a little bit better, to make life better for someone that like actually interacts with you on a day-to-day basis, right?
Steve, do you like rap
Help the
music?
old lady down the street across the road. Help the old guy take out his trash.
Did you hear Tom?
Do you?
He said, "Do you like rap music?"
Listen, man,
he's
I'm
trying
gonna
to
give
sell you on Tom McDonald.
I don't have to sell you, right?
I like KRS-One.
Do you have Spotify?
This motherfucker said I like KRS-One. I saw KRS-One live in concert in New York City.
Listen, stop getting off the topic. Do you have Spotify?
Listen, you're not going to convince Steven to listen to rap music. I've been trying to get Steven to listen to fucking Joyner Lucas for years.
I have a social media platform. It's Facebook, and it is riddled with. I did post the other day about Afghanistan. That's why I kept getting asked. And then it's things that my wife tagged me in.
Steve, we're going to send you many, many music videos on Facebook Messenger.
Well, you have YouTube, right? Everybody has YouTube. I want to send you a
as
list
long as I don't
of.
have to be logged in. I can.
No, you don't have to be logged in. All I want you to do is listen, because it is rap music, and I am not a fan of rap music as well. But
I don't dislike rap music.
But all
like,
these
there are
things,
rappers I don't like, but yeah, I don't dislike.
I have a feeling that you're gonna love this guy from Canada, who is now an American.
He's a Canadian American.
Hey.
Yeah, he says "a" lot in his music.
Oh God.
No, I'm only kidding. But I don't know, 4 or 5 songs, and I feel like you're gonna love it, and I want to hear your feedback because it's everything that you just said.
What do you mean? Okay, I told you to listen to Joyner Lucas's song "Will" about Will Smith, his dedication song.
Oh my God, who
fucking
cares
2
about
years
that?
ago.
That has nothing. That's not even a big deal, bro. The things that
Will
Tom
Smith got a cuss in his records or cuss in his raps to sell records, but I do, so fuck him and fuck you too.
But you can quote Eminem.
I love it.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating what's going on right now.
Steve, do you have 3 to 4 hours a week to do a podcast twice a week? I'm looking for a co-host, somebody that's kind of more on my level. You could do it remotely right from here. I do all the legwork and I buy all the IT stuff.
Yeah,
that's true.
Can it be any worse than a partner than Patrick?
No.
Tom's really got the sucker's bet here.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be a regular guest. No, I can't do it every week though.
Whenever you want to be on, you're
I'm
more
still
than
trying
welcome.
to figure retirement out. I got sold a bill of goods about how I was going to be working part time and getting warmed up and everything, and all of a sudden I was working 50 hours a week.
That's what it goes.
Now, and I don't like if JR, my boss ever, or my boss's boss ever gets hold of this, I don't say that in a disparaging way. I love the guy. He got me my last 2 jobs. And I love what we do. It's important work that we're doing. But yeah, it's true though. I was told like, yeah, come in on this program, and we'll kind of work you part time until September. Let you get a break. Let you spend some time with the family. And like week 2, I worked 50 hours. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Let me ask you this: how does it feel to be out of the military but still be doing something, and just as important as what you're doing in the military?
I couldn't have asked for anything more. Like we talk about like finding a landing spot for when you're leaving the military. You're looking for like your tribe. A lot of people call it. Like you're looking for people that get you. But you also like culturally, you can't just keep doing the same thing for the rest of your life, right? Like sooner or later, we're all told that you can no longer play the child's game. Okay, so what am I going to do? So I got very lucky. I got hired on with a defense contractor that does things like from a very commercial viewpoint, but does it for the military. And the guy that hired me, I worked for, a decade ago in the military. He retired 14 or 15. And then he called me up one day and he was just like, "Hey, Smash, I'm getting the band back together." So I just got lucky, right? Because I'm leaving the military. I've been doing something for 23 years. I don't know how the hell I'm going to pay my bills. And someone that I know cares about me called me up and offered me a job. So I mean, like, how can you? Come on, I can't complain about that. Like, yeah, I'm working more hours right now than I wanted to, but I can't fucking complain about it. Come on, first world problems.
Yeah, first, and it beats working at McDonald's for those 50 hours a week.
Not only that, I mean, how you spent 20 years, I'm sure, when you weren't deployed, sitting at a desk or, marching or whatever you were doing for those 20 years, going, why is that funny? Did you not fucking march in the military?
Where the fuck did I march to?
I'm picturing you marching, like jogging in a group, doing Jodies and shit.
Okay.
He's picturing boot camp.
Doing PT. I'm sure that a lot of that time was spent saying, I wish I had more time with my family. And now you get to do the job that you're good at doing. And anybody who is working enjoys the job more if they're good at it. If you don't suck, that's much better. So you're good at doing this. Yeah. Don't suck. So you don't suck. You're doing this job that you're good at. At the same time, if one of your kids says something important to talk to you about, they just knock on the fucking door now, right? Yeah. Or you can go out and grab a cup of water and be like, "Hey, kids, how are you?"
Adventures, they're going shopping, whatever. And I hear them come home, and I'm getting off a meeting, and I'll I am my boss. I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna pop out for 5 minutes, and just hang out with the family for 5 minutes."
Yeah, that's got to be, I mean, literally kind of a dream come true, right?
Sure.
Cool.
That's awesome.
I think we're going to wrap this one up. We've talked about some other topics that we could cover in long form now that you've got the irony. Now that you've earned your freedom and you have some time to your thoughts and to yourself and to volunteer on the Number 9 with Tommy podcast, unpaid.
Yeah, give me some time and maybe we'll talk politics too. I can give you my honest opinion, right? Like, whose fault was this? And hey, here's the other thing, right? The crisis at the border. Do you know what the crisis at the border did? Fucking bankrupt the Department of Defense. We might look back in 20 years and say Trump was a good president. We might look back in 20 years and say Trump was a bad president. You know what I know? Trump stole the Department of Defense's budget that General Mattis got us so that we could think about China and Russia, so that he could try to build the wall that he said Mexico would fund. Because the second he said it was crisis, it put the DoD budget on the table.
No, Tommy's not going to like that episode. I do want to do Monsanto. I think that's a fucking killer topic.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Roundup and giving each other cancer.
Yeah, that's
let's talk about celiac disease and the fact that when you go to Europe and you have celiac disease, you don't get sick when you eat bread, but when you come back to the United States, you get sick again.
Fuck that. That's crazy. Really?
I have friends that were die hard, I'm gluten intolerant, and then ate bread for 3 years living in Europe because Roundup's illegal.
Jesus. I definitely want to do that one. I think we should have some fun with an American history one. I think we should talk about some of the follies of the CIA. There's a lot of really good stories of just their colossal fuck ups that we can.
The beard shit they try to put in Fidel's boots and stuff.
Dude, it's crazy. There's a story about they put C4 in one of his cigars, and he lit the cigar. He was smoking it, and they asked him to come to a meeting, and he put his cigar down in an ashtray, but it was still smoking, and he blew the fucking wing of the building off. But he was fine because he wasn't fucking there. Of course, they're like, hey, fucking man. Americans.
Fidel Castro had fucking 9 lives, bro.
Yeah.
That dude was a legitimate cat.
But I would love to do something talking about those things.
Fucking dickhead.
Who?
Che Guevara.
Yeah, and he's renowned as a hero.
Right. Yeah, he was the communist ideal, revolutionary, fought for the people, but he also imprisoned blind people, gay people, and mentally handicapped people to kill them wholesale like the fucking Holocaust because they weren't going to be there for communist Cuba and its ideal. Che Guevara is a fucking asshole.
Along with that,
so fuck any of these left wingers with posters of him on their wall or think that he was his revolutionary ideal was okay. He was a fascist, and someone should have shot him in the head before they ever made it to Cuba.
I don't know if you just saw Tom's face immediately turn into a smile when you said "fuck any of those leftists."
What?
Tom is half hard right now. I actually felt his dick hit the bottom of this table.
I don't have a problem with leftists.
No, but to that point, there's a lot of people widely regarded as heroes that are absolute assholes. You brought it up earlier, the Boston Tea Party. We have this awful misconception about why it happened, and we won't get into it now, but we will get into it in a future episode to talk about maybe some truth behind the misleading facts that we've been taught, like a real education. It's the old don't let schooling get in the way of education.
Yeah. Let's talk about Rosa Parks and how we mistell her story.
Oh, man, that's a good one, too. That's a good one, too.
Do you want to know what I really hate?
What's that?
People that want to dismantle American history because they owned slaves.
Well, that's another one. Yeah. We could talk about the fact that these people, for their times, were X, even though now we regard them as Y.
That drives me fucking
No,
insane.
that's fair. Or like, let's talk about Thomas Jefferson. Like, we want to ignore the fact that he owned slaves. Like, oh, but he was a good slave owner. But we and also like ignore the fact that like he tried to dismantle the democracy because he lost the election to John Adams.
Right.
Like systematically attacked the democracy in ways that we're still dealing with today. The two-party system being the most of them,
which you and I have spoken about. But that, I mean, these things, they're all independent episodes on their own. We don't need, filler or fucking movie reviews or anything else to fill those segments. However, if you want to review some movies, I think it's a great idea. We have tons of segments that we do.
You should watch Uncut Gems. Let me know what you think.
Also, I should mention,
I watched like half of it. I turned it off, and I don't do that very often. Like I just couldn't get into it. I will say, I'll throw a movie recommendation out there for folks. I don't know if people are into Disney or not. I'm not particularly, but I don't mind it. We went and saw Cruella, and it was damn good.
Man, I want to see that so bad, and everybody keeps talking about how it's not good. I know it's going to be killer.
It was damn good, and Emma Stone did a fantastic job.
It is essentially a prequel to 101 Dalmatians, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's Cruella DeVille, like kind of as she came up and how she became the Cruella that we came to know her. Yeah.
See, even if you tried, you couldn't spoil this one for us because we know what happens next, but Tommy would fucking butcher it.
Facts. I also got a movie recommendation that I haven't seen yet, but I was told today. That movie, I think it's called Free Lives, maybe?
Just, you're talking about Free Man?
Yeah, Free Man with
Ryan Reynolds?
Yep, there you go.
Just to be clear, you have a movie recommendation for a movie you didn't see, but you heard about. You don't know the title of, and you know who the fuck's in it.
I knew all those, I just couldn't think of them. But more importantly, what I'm saying is
that was hot.
Yeah, and he's funny.
And he's funny as shit. Follow him on any social media platform.
What I'm saying,
the kind of guy you want to hate. It's like he's so fucking pretty, and he's funny, and he's ripped, and it's like, fuck you, dude. Like, there's got to be something wrong with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing wrong with him. He's perfect. It was recommended to me to watch from somebody else.
Okay.
So I'm throwing it out there. Maybe we should watch that one.
Yeah. I mean, we have every fucking platform of movie watching available to Americans right at our fingertips between the two of us. Steven, thank you very much.
Seen Sully?
The movie about the plane crash?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
What movie about it? I have not seen it.
You haven't seen that? Tom Hanks, he lands the plane in the Hudson?
No.
What?
No, is that the one where he makes friends with the beach ball?
No.
It's a volleyball, but yeah.
Fucking idiot. Dude,
right.
Another show I've been watching, man.
That's the closest I've ever come in my life to crying over an inanimate object. I fucking love that volleyball.
Oh my God.
The volleyball goes away, man. I was distraught.
Hold on. Did you just spoil the end of that movie?
That wasn't the end.
Hold on. Pat gets super upset when
In
people
the end,
spoil
he
movies from
realized
fucking
his
20
wife
years
was
ago.
gone because he's been gone so long that she had no other real choice. And
Yeah, and he's super upset.
Wow,
But he
that's
holds
so
on to
fucked
that
up. I
FedEx
didn't watch the
package.
movie and it still hurt me.
You've
you
never
didn't
seen
see that? You didn't see Castaway?
No.
Dude, first
That
off,
movie's
let's
like 10
start.
years old. If you didn't watch it yet, that's on you.
That's
It's-
what Tom always says.
First off, it's like 20 years old. But more importantly, how good of an actor is Tom Hanks that he literally starred in that movie by himself with a volleyball?
Well, he also
And
did
it
an entire
fucking
movie in an
crushed it.
airport
And the
terminal.
volleyball could have won Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, for real. Like, he is bomb diggity at movies.
I can't believe you're putting anybody over Tom Cruise right now.
Tom Cruise is super hot, but he's short.
Tom Cruise sucks.
Tom, jeez.
Steve, we were having a nice conversation. Why do you have to go that way? Is
Name
it because
a role
he's...
that Tom Cruise has actually acted so well?
Oh, hold on. I'll take care of this for Tom. Days of Thunder was dope shit, man.
Have you seen Days of Thunder?
Oh my God.
It was an enjoyable movie, but Tom Cruise didn't play a role that was like
Top Gun?
Believable. Okay, he was a dickhead Navy pilot.
I'm gonna help Tom on this one. A Few Good Men.
Yeah, A Few Good Men.
That I would actually give you that. He was good in A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men
Risky
to me
Business?
is top 10 movies of all time.
Cocktail? Jerry
Cocktail?
Maguire?
Jerry Maguire, meh.
At this point, Tom is literally just naming all of Tom Cruise's movies. He's not even trying to pick the good
Mission
ones.
Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Meh.
All right.
Hold on, but for
Tom
real.
Cruise couldn't be in like a Goodfellas or a Godfather. He can't act.
But he did play in A Few Good Men.
I'd like to
And that's
point
a
out.
great-
well once. He did well once in a movie with Kevin Bacon and Jack Nicholson.
And
Demi
like,
Moore.
good fucking actors,
What's the fucking
right?
big deal with Kevin Bacon, dude? He's not even that good of an actor.
Okay. First,
Great.
what?
Oh my God,
Bro, you got to
old
watch The
people-
Following.
You old people love Kevin Bacon.
The following was very cool. You want to watch a really good movie by Kevin Bacon? Like no shit, Taking Chance. Kevin Bacon plays an old, washed-up Marine officer. He's done a Pentagon tour. He's stuck on staff. Iraq kicks off. He doesn't get to go. And then he goes to Dover, and he's going to escort this young Marine's remains back to his home, back to his hometown. And he goes through all the emotions of, why wasn't I there fighting with these young Marines? It was my turn. I got skipped over. And there's this old Vietnam vet towards the end of the movie.
Are you gonna ruin it, or do you want me to watch this?
That's fine. I'll spoil it because nobody gives a fuck anyways. This old Vietnam
I'm
vet
so upset.
poked a finger in his chest and he says, "That's bullshit. If you were supposed to be there, you would have been there. The Marine Corps needed you on that staff. We all play our roles." Right? And it's like this touching moment with this guy that you would think this like gnarly old Vietnam vet would have been like, "You're right. What the fuck were you doing, staff weenie?" But he wasn't, right? He was supportive of another veteran. And it was just like, holy shit. And like the emotions this guy goes through and the like care he takes over this kid's remains, like making sure, get a shitty fucking fossil watch. Like, who cares? But like, it mattered that his mom got his watch, right? Like all these little things.
Right.
But it's one of these movies that nothing ever happens. There's no action. There's no peak.
My favorite.
It's just like the movie gets over like 2 hours later and you're just sitting there and the credits roll and you're just like, fuck, that was good.
Yeah, Tom, not a fan of that. Me, huge fan of that.
Yeah, I don't like slow
Yeah,
movies.
Taking Chance. Check that one out. Very
I'll
good.
try.
Well, now I know how it ends, so I'm not gonna. But I get what you're saying.
But anyway, real quick, do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Do you watch Alone? Have you ever seen Alone?
No.
Okay, it's where they take 10 people and they put them on, I'm going to say Antarctica, and it's wrong. It's up in Canada. What's it? Starts with an A. It's where it's all snowy and stuff.
Alaska?
Nope. Colin! You know,
I'm
somewhere...
gonna say Antarctica and that's wrong.
Fuck. Colin!
Like the Arctic?
Yeah, the Arctic. There you go. Never mind. I don't need you to go away. How's practice?
Not the
Good?
Antarctic, but the Arctic.
Yeah, the Arctic, right? So they take these 10 people and they drop them in different locations and they have to survive as long as they can. Well, the season that's on Netflix right now is season 7 and it's the $1 Million Challenge. And they're going to see if somebody can last there 100 days. And the longest anybody's ever done is like 73.
I'm
So-
sorry. Is this a reality show?
It's like Survivor, but they're alone. They're not together. They're in 10 different spots.
No, I got how many people were going to be there by the title.
Okay. What the fuck's up? So I guess you would call it a reality show, sure. It's
Okay.
fucking great, man.
All right.
I really enjoy it. And like, so they can bring up to like 10 items with them out there, and they get to pick what they bring. So like some will bring like a gill net, and some will bring just fishing wire. They can only bring certain types of hooks for fishing, not barred ones, just straight hooks. They can bring like a knife and an axe and a saw, and they build their own homes to live in. It's fucking wild.
I believe they call those igloos.
Some guy no, because when they get there, it's not warm, but it's not freezing yet, and then they
Yeah.
live through the winter.
Okay.
There was this one guy, he was a real puss, man. He tore his MCL like 12 days in, and he fucking tapped out. He was worried that his body was going to go
Did they have
toxic.
an MRI machine up there? How do you know he tore his MCL?
Because they interviewed him when he came back. He knew that there was something wrong with his leg. He was I hate to say he was a puss, but he was an ex-Marine. And so he got a Baker cyst on the back of his leg after he felt the pain in his knee. And he was worried that it was going to rupture and make him go toxic.
Tom, you could have you could have condensed this entire thing to say, there's a reality show you should watch, and I would have stopped there.
You should watch it. It's great.
I thought they just leave him out there to die. And like you said, the longest time anybody ever made it was 73 days. They're not actually just dying out there?
No, they
can tap out. So they have a satellite phone that they call, and they come and pick them up if they're all done. If they can't make it anymore. But they got a hunt.
Is it a reality show?
Yes.
Or are they... Oh.
It's
Why,
great.
did you just lose all interest in it?
Yep.
Me too.
Are you guys serious? I'm telling you, watch one episode. It's good. Do we fit? You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
I'm not gonna let these companies make money off of me and exploit other people. Like if you want actors, fucking pay an actor. Give me some production value and some talent.
But these
But
guys.
you're not just gonna follow morally bankrupt people around like.
No, because it's about survival, man. It's showing off their talents for survival.
You don't understand how entertaining it is to watch somebody fish with an unbarbed hook.
Without modern technology, you're not that talented for it.
Damn. What just happened to your screen, bro? Oh, whoa.
It gave me my low battery warning.
All right, listen. We're going to wrap this up because at this point, we're just recommending shit for each other.
Yeah.
And for the number niners. Steven, we thank you very much for being on the show. I had a great time. Seems like Tom wants to suck you off more than he wants to suck off Tom Cruise at this point, which is pretty amazing.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yo, you know who Steve looks like? I've been trying to put my finger on it for like the last hour
I
and a
can't
half.
wait for you to misplace who Steve looks like. Go ahead.
Seth Rollins.
Who?
Because he has a dark beard?
No, he has the same.
Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins. He's a
the
WWE
way his hair
superstar.
looks almost looks like it's in a ponytail because it's slicked back, and he has that little thing there on the front.
I'm going to go ahead and show you a picture of Seth Rollins when this is over so you realize how far off you are.
I'm going to Google it and be mad at Tommy.
WWE superstar Seth Rollins, Rollins.
You're not even mad. You're going to be very, very pleased.
I mean, on the other hand, look at Seth Rollins' wife, Becky Lynch. And
super hot. All right, anyway. Everybody, thanks for listening. Make sure you go check out the new merch at the merch store. Just the easiest way to get there is go to the website, number9podcast.com. Click on the merch link. It'll bring you right to there. We put up some new funny quote shirts. Remember, you get mugs, phone cases, pillowcase covers, T-shirts. Yeah, it makes that face right there all the time. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, jeez. Steven, I love you. Thank you very much.
Steve, I want to thank you for being on the show. I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
I was hoping that after this heartfelt conversation, I would say that I love you, and you would look me dead in the face and give me a thumbs up. That worked out exactly how I had planned. Thank you.
I want to say this.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't take the pizza out of my mouth and eat for yourself. I love you.
You are my favorite Gallagher by far.
I'm everybody's favorite Gallagher.
Until Michael's
Jesus.
on. Until Michael's on next, and then Tony.
No, it doesn't matter. Trust me, it's Steven. Bro, my grandmother...
I can tell you who my least favorite Gallagher is.
My
dad?
No,
he loves him. He fucking loves
he's a real
him.
dickhole. Have you met him?
Only once, but I've talked to him multiple times on the phone. He's been a guest on the show before, not willingly.
Yeah, if he calls me and we're recording, I just pick up on speakerphone. I'm like, by the way, you're live on the air.
You gonna tell him about that Would You Rather?
I think I have. We called him. We were doing a Would You Rather. The question, if you'd like to answer it, the question was, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? What would your answer be? fisticuffs here, Stephen. Fisticuffs.
He's really thinking about this one.
Fight 100 duck-sized horses.
Or one horse-sized duck. To me, this is a
I guess I
no-brainer.
have to go with the 100 duck-sized horses.
Right? Because you could kick those fuckers all over the place. This cockbag thinks that fighting a horse-sized duck would be a good idea. One poof of his wing and you're flying off into nowhere land.
Yeah, I don't like fucking with waterfowl. They seem to have skills that I don't understand.
So I happened to call our father during the podcast when
He
we're
called
doing
you.
this. Oh, yeah, that's right. He called me. And I said, "Hey, Dad." And then I posed the question. And his answer, in true father fashion, was,
He didn't skip a beat either.
yeah, he did not even think about it for an instant. He said, "I would kill them all and I'd let God sort it out." And he just like, podcast infamy right there. Just poof. That's the answer.
It's not that infamous just to be a fucking asshole.
Oh boy. All right.
That's
Jeez.
that's how that one played out. You know what? Next time you're on the show, we'll bring you a solid would you rather. We've had quite a few doozies.
Keep it clean. My kids might find this shit online someday.
Well, yeah, that's no problem. We don't do anything offensive on this podcast.
Like the
Stephen.
horse duck thing. It's cute.
It's adorable.
Killing something is cute.
It's a fist fight. You're not killing anything.
Alright.
I just heard Tom's son in a normal conversation. He got excited playing a video game, but it sounded like he was choking a donkey. Did you hear that sound?
He's playing tummy sticks.
He did like a full.
What does it sound like when you choke a donkey, Pat?
Listen, I'll go fucking scare the shit out of that kid. You'll hear it.
We gotta
Anyways,
go.
I still want for comparison. That's cool.
Do it, Pat.
We're just lingering.
number niners, I say
I say
good day. What? Why do you say it over me?
I say good day.
I say good day.
Oh, we got Steven.
Good day.
Steve's on there last. Steve, for real, man, thanks for being on the show, man. I had a fantastic time talking to you.
I'm glad you did. I did too. Yeah, I appreciate it. Sorry I didn't really stay on track, but I feel like it like kind of flowed naturally.
Yeah, no, the guy who puts the show together, he puts the questions in a specific order. He really steers the conversation. He's not bad at all. He's getting pretty good at it. I'll give him
I
that.
feel like we didn't answer all his questions though.
No, we got them all. We're good. We're good.
Are we in there?
Who cares about his questions, really? If you stuck around and watched on YouTube, which well, that'd be nobody. We'll talk to you guys later.